So is this air live or?
Oh, yeah. Got coffee or anything there?
Yeah.
What are you pointing at, boy? What are you pointing at, huh? That's another beautiful day in paradise. This is the mayor of the airwaves. How are you doing, ladies and gentlemen? How are you doing? Set free, no obligations to be brought forth under the scrutiny of the FBI. Not guilty. Do you want this sort of a person to have her hand near the button that decides whether we live or die? Pastor Richard Demsick is in here as my co-host. Good morning, Pastor Richard. How are you this morning? I don't think we should say pastor. That'd get people really worried, you know. But you are wearing your
collar.
You're wearing your collar. Yeah. What's with the collar today? Are we on YouTube? Oh, we're on YouTube. Yes.
Yeah, you can see that.
Can they see him there? Yeah. What's? Oh, yeah, kind of the way.
I hate to be the guy who just uses the same joke every time, but my favorite response when someone says, what's the deal with the collar? I say, well, if I get lost, someone will look, and on the other side has my address.
Yeah, you never used that. I never heard that before.
Yeah.
You never used that with me before.
Oh, really? I haven't. Yeah. I thought I had. Yeah. But, the other option is God keeps me on a short lease, and it's a good reminder.
So what do you think about this whole thing with Hillary last night in the FBI, huh?
That's interesting, because I think the guy said that she did break the law and that we are not going to pursue charges, which I was confused by that, and I really hope that sets a precedent in case I ever accidentally break the law, that if I break the law accidentally without intent, then they won't pursue charges.
Yeah.
Right? Isn't that what they said, basically?
Giuliani, the former mayor of New York City, of course, he cleared up New York amazingly. It was miraculous how he cleared up New York. How you doing, Beverly? Good morning. Thank you for the show. Why don't you sit down, Beverly? Join us.
Okay.
Sit down.
Hi, guys.
Mm.
Hi, Beverly.
This is Nick Marola. He's our special guest today. Have you met Nick before? We need to close that door then. Have we met Nick before? Have you met Nick before? I don't know.
We've met before, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
He went to school with you, or your brothers.
My brothers.
Yeah, I think your brothers were
your
English teacher and chemistry teacher back in the day.
Did you have them?
I did.
Okay,
I did.
both
I had
of them?
both of them, yeah.
Which one was your favorite?
Oh, yeah, don't put me on the spot like that.
Yeah,
they were both great.
I always ask that question, but it's usually not live on the radio, right? Where there is a chance that they will hear it.
Sure.
But yeah, they're both usually very weird.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
great.
Yeah, but it's interesting because you find out a lot about a student by which brother they like best. Because both my brothers are teachers at Vero Beach High School, and one of them is a little bit goofier, and one of them is more passionate.
I didn't know they were teachers.
Yeah, they're both teachers. That's what they.
What is no? Peter is the more.
John Peter, yeah.
He's not the one that plays the keyboard.
That's one. Yeah.
Oh, it is John
keyboard.
Peter. Now, what's the other one's name?
Robbie D, and he is the more goofy version. If you ever watched the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles,
he's the more goofy.
He's the more goofy.
But he seems. See, when he walks by and says hi to me, talks to me, he's the more severe, more sober.
That's just because he's bald. Balding anyone, and they look more severe.
No, so you say he's the goofy one, he's got the sense of humor. That's because internally, he's a lot more sober. He's a lot more. See, the humor only comes because of the depth of character. Like, for instance, out of the Bushes, I've met all the Bushes. Guy. There's Jeb, there's George W., and there's Senior. Out of all of them, Senior has the best sense of humor. Mm-hmm. He is the brightest.
Okay.
George W. has a sense of humor. Self-deprecating, which is necessary when it comes to him. But Jeb and I there was never ever any warm and friendly between Jeb.
Yeah.
Jeb's all business.
That makes sense.
And that's why when Jeb just tried to run, he was 11-year-old, just news,
Yeah.
We had a consultant come to town from Yale, and he said, this is why Jeb was still in the run. He said, Jeb is 11-year-old news. Mm. But anyway, Nick is a filmmaker, and he's worked on various TV shows and stuff. Even now, how old are you now?
I'll be 28 in October.
28. I can't remember when 28 was old. Can you remember that, Beverly?
No, but I wish I could.
Yeah.
I think I can remember it if I really try.
Sure.
America's Got Talent. They got a lot of time. America's Got Talent. They had a 90-year-old woman on last night
Oh, wow.
who got the golden button as she danced for the group.
Oh, yeah.
Very cool.
Was it
Yeah.
The Golden Button?
You haven't watched the show.
I haven't watched it in years.
Oh, that's a
If
great
someone,
show.
if someone hits the golden button, you're into.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
going to
okay.
Hollywood.
I was
They
thinking-
let everybody go to Hollywood.
I was thinking.
Hello, I can belch like my grandfather. Okay, you're going to Hollywood.
Rhett, you always ask people's ages, don't you? But aren't you
I don't want to know
surprised?
yours. Don't tell me.
Well, yeah, but aren't you surprised when you hear of a 90-year-old doing something? And I don't like to tell my age because I'm afraid people will treat me like my age. I feel like I'm 36, and let me feel that way.
All right. I don't know if she keeps
See, I
asking me
feel
out on a
like-
date, but you know.
Yeah, I feel like I'm 76, so
Oh,
it works
wow.
both ways, I guess.
Richard, I'm really surprised.
Really?
You don't feel.
I'm an
Well,
old
you've been
soul.
through a lot.
I have, yeah.
Yeah.
It's been a rough life.
You went through some challenges health-wise early on.
Yeah.
Violent headaches
Yeah, from birth, actually.
from birth. I
Yeah.
didn't realize it was
Yeah.
that. You know.
I don't remember a time period before I was 17 when I didn't have headaches and migraines daily. It was,
Oh.
It
Mhm.
was pretty rough.
Really?
Yeah, it was excruciating. I barely got through every semester of school, even just because of how many times I had to be absent because of how severe.
How
it got.
come so often it's the person who goes through the most difficult situations, like, that Sinatra almost died
Mm,
when he was a little baby with sickness. And I can tell you all kinds of stories.
Yeah.
And he was impoverished. He said never forgot his poverty.
Mhm.
Gosh, I tell you what, something great and noble must be coming my way.
That's what everyone now who's gone through hard things. Hopefully, they're thinking that that's listening.
Well, I got to meet Billy Graham a few years ago and I interviewed him, but Billy Graham said, no one gets the call. No one gets a call from God without the death blow.
Yeah.
Now, you only know this. Like the other day, I was talking to a lady, and she was visiting from another state, and I said, "Have you ever had your heart broken?"
Mhm.
And she goes, "No." And I thought, what is it like
Mhm.
to live 60 odd years
Mhm.
and never get your heart broken? Now, she's a very devout Catholic and a very successful and a very sensitive human.
Mhm.
So I'm wondering sometimes maybe it's the dummies. Maybe you and I have something in common. Like
We learn the
we gotta
hard
beat
way.
this guy up.
That's
I don't.
right.
Now you,
Yeah.
I think you're a humble guy. I think God's
Thank
had to
you.
work on me.
Yeah.
I used to think I was humble, but
Yeah.
I don't think I'm humble. Not in the way. Do you really check yourself out? Do you really judge? Do you really love others first? Now, Nick, I see you with those pictures of that beautiful young lady.
Yeah.
Are you guys engaged yet?
Yeah, we are engaged. We're actually going to be getting married in a couple of weeks.
Oh,
Great.
congratulations!
Yeah. Thank you.
That's
You seem
exciting.
like a loving guy. Well, I'm
I
a
like to
kid,
think so.
You're
I
a
think
kid
she'd
to me,
agree.
Yeah, you seem to be a loving guy. I knew your dad before you,
Mhm.
and he still lives in town,
Yes, sir.
and he's a very gifted photographer.
Yes, thank you. I learned everything I know from him.
Oh,
But,
so that's where you got the cameras from.
That's right.
And to start you
Yeah.
off.
Yeah.
But it's
Nice.
very easy to flippantly say, you love your wife. Now, Jesus said that a man should love his wife as he loved the church, willing
Yes.
to lay down his life for his bride.
Mhm.
So you got to say, so you're in a situation, you're at a local restaurant, and ISIS comes along, and are you gonna jump on the body of your wife or future wife to take the bullets for her, like that mother in Orlando?
Absolutely.
Did you see that
Yeah.
funeral? That mother in Orlando, she jumped on top
Wow.
of her. She was there dancing with her son, supporting her son,
Wow.
having fun with her son, and she jumped on his body.
Wow.
He lived. She took the bullets for him.
I
Did you know that?
did not know that.
Oh, my goodness.
That's awesome.
There's a lot of stories yet to be told, I think, from
Yeah.
that night.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Would you do
talk
it?
about love?
I think absolutely. I like
You
to
would.
think I would. I think people don't know what they're going to do until they're in that situation.
Yeah.
But I like to think first I'd return fire.
It's interesting because you really don't know. And I have found out about this about myself. I know this doesn't come across as bragging, but I don't lose my cool in life and death situations. I know this because I was over in Israel,
Yeah.
and there was a bomb threat when we were in the airport. And we were on our way back, And you know how if you have a bomb threat in America, they're going to say, would you please, in an orderly fashion, take, yourself and go over here, and if you wouldn't mind. In Israel, it was completely different. It was, run, leave your stuff, run. And these are the security guards that were saying to the crowd, yelling, just run.
And
Everyone was panicking, but I just kind of was like, all right, Kate, let's come over here. And she's like freaking out, and I'm just, it's going to be fine.
I went to
Let's go
Israel
over
to shoot a
here.
music video.
Yeah.
Called The Empty Tomb. And did you ever hear my Empty Tomb song? This gives me a good
Time
excuse
for a
to pick up
song.
There
the
you
guitar.
go. It's never too early for
Sound the
something.
guitar.
Right.
I wonder if I could remember. Do I have echo on my guitar? Or do I have to ask for it every time? Were you going to remember to do it? I want to know.
He
I
usually
want to
remembers.
know. Were you going to do it without me asking for it? Oh, shut up my show prep. That's good. That's good, especially for a guy, because most guys can't multitask.
You're one of a kind, Spark.
Let's see. Hold on. Anyway, I can't remember how the song goes. It's been so many years. I was 33.
It was a wonderful build-up.
What goes? I went to the tomb of Buddha occupied. I went to the tomb of Confucius. There he lies. When I went to the tomb of the one who claimed to be God's son, as I slowly stepped inside, his tomb was not occupied. Jesus did rise. Jesus did rise. Anyway.
I could hear that like a heavy metal
So weird.
rendition
Yeah.
of that. That would be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the only complaint we got, that there wasn't enough heavy metal. Was it?
Well,
But anyway, it was number
cowbell.
one. It was number one.
Well, cowbell.
It was number one on the North Pole.
Yeah.
It sincerely was number one on the North Pole.
This is how he became the mayor of the
This is
area.
the Frozen Chosen.
Yeah. He took a vote among
So anyway, we're in Israel
zero
with the
population.
late Dr. McLaughlin, who was a professor at Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute, RPI in Troy, New York, where I lived at the time. And I inadvertently, we got on the bus in Israel, and I inadvertently left the tripod in a brown case up above the seats in the bus. Do you use a tripod, by the way, in this day and age?
I still use tripod.
Not
Absolutely.
really necessary with that steady cam you have.
No, I use.
When we were growing up, young boy, we suffered. We did not have steady cam. You're spoiled. Anyway, so we got the tripod, and I left it up there inadvertently. So all of a sudden, the whistles are blowing. What's going on? Bomb scare, bomb scare. And it was like, and they pulled it out. And, no, that's our tripod. Hey. Toda. Bavakasha.
Now, did you lose your cool?
What do you mean?
Did you get freaked out when?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
I get freaked out normal things like fear and stuff. But if something's actually going on, I'm the guy that jumps out of the car and handles the car accident. I'm directing traffic. I'm taking care of it. This is what you're going to do. You get over to the left. You get to the right. I take right over.
I freak out afterwards. So when the event is done, that's when I go, "Oh my gosh, that was scary. We could have died." And then everyone.
Well, I heard on Laura's show yesterday, if you have leadership
You listen to
qualities,
someone else's show other than mine. Go ahead, Laura's show. Go ahead.
stated, if you have leadership quality, you will take over in a situation. And it's true, because you're thinking sharply and you know how to act. Whereas some people become paralyzed, they cannot perform, and others instinctively they were able to act.
And also testing. There's an old saying about testing. You don't test a person by going through the want or the bottom periods. You give a man power, and that'll test him.
Mm-hmm.
You also, just like Kristen Bieber. What was that his name? Christian Bieber?
Justin Bieber.
Justin Bieber. Okay. Who happens to be a Christian. And here's this kid that really believes in Jesus. He's a nice little kid. His mom, we live up in Canada. Come on. Hey. Let's see, put your little video on YouTube. Next thing you know is, the guy's making over $1 million a night. He's a kid. I cannot imagine what it's like to be thrust, have that
Yeah.
glory thrust upon you. Really should only be reserved for God.
Didn't go well for Justin.
You know, it's like, you know, I don't know. I mean, I don't know how people who are famous handle. You've been around some famous people with your shooting, right? I mean, Mick Jagger, you know. I mean, can you imagine just all the people that want something from you?
I've only got the moves like Jagger.
Yeah, only the moves like Jagger. We'll talk about that. We'll ask your wife about that. Oh, yeah, but yeah, dancing and prancing.
That's right.
So what was I
No,
going to say?
you
On
were
that
talking
note, I
about
totally
fame.
forgot what I was
You were
talking about.
But
fame.
obviously,
Power, people.
fame is difficult to handle, and that's why people are on drugs.
And money.
Mm-hmm.
And money. People say, oh, I would do this and that.
Yeah.
And next thing you know is, you know, they don't.
Well, it's all those things that are hard predictors. If you decide ahead of time what you're going to do, you are more likely to follow through on that thing. So if you say, I will protect my wife in a life and death situation, you're more likely to do it.
Well, I always pretend I'm at the urinal at a restaurant or somewhere, and I go, some guy walks in and he puts a gun in my back and wants my wallet. I say, let him have the wallet.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Let him have the wallet.
Yeah.
But you know what? I'm afraid I'm the kind of guy that go like, no way. You're not entering my territory, bucko. Turn around and say, look at this. little joke there.
Yeah.
Little joke there.
We got it.
What did you say, Sparky?
I can't really share all the details in the movie because some of it aren't appropriate. But I was watching a movie last night where a guy hides a gun down there in his,
Oh, he couldn't
in
get
his
it.
pants. No, he like grabs it and shoots the guy from the thing in his pants. And he kills the guy, and the other guy's looking. It's like, oh, good, there's a gun down there.
I saw.
I thought maybe you could just do that.
Yeah, what movie was that?
It was Kiss Kiss Bang Bang.
Oh.
Kiss Kiss Bang Bang.
Who's in that?
It's got Robert Downey Jr. and Val Kilmer. It's by Shane Black, who's the guy who did the other The Nice Guys recently. And
So the guy pulls the gun out later and goes, "Oh, I'm glad you
Yeah, he pulls it out later.
You
He's
can
like,
do that."
oh, good, a gun. I thought maybe you could just do that.
So
It's
Nick,
strange talent.
you're involved in filmmaking,
Yes, sir.
and so how I can manipulate you into giving me a discounted price.
Anything for you, Rhett.
I invite him on the show. I got to work him over here. Hey, I'm shooting some advertising, in the magazine, an article, something.
Now, Nick, do you live here now?
Yes, sir, I do.
Okay.
This is where I call home. I spend about 3 or 4 months a year on the road doing TV.
Tell me where you just came from.
Yeah, I just came back from Baja, spent May there doing 3 episodes for a TV show called Destination Baja Sur Season 2. It's a fishing reality TV show, basically going up and down the coast, visiting the different villages and areas and going fishing and seeing their culture and cooking. It's very interesting. Yeah.
What got you into filmmaking?
You know what? Like Rhett said, my dad's always been a camera guy, always had a camera in his hands, and same for me,
Yeah, but it doesn't necessarily mean that talent's going to trickle down. Well, because
Nobody
having an eye,
nobody said he has talent.
Yeah.
Having an
We're
eye, though,
assuming here.
having an eye is a whole different thing.
For sure.
Now,
You know?
Yeah, I think it came.
Can you cultivate that, do you think?
I think there's a couple different elements. I think the talent is either there, or it's not, but the skill is entirely different.
Well, I don't know. It's like when I was young, I've never been good at math, so I don't like math. I've never been good at golf, so I don't like golf. Now I remember being being over near Woodstock, New York, at my brother's cabin, and playing the old piano, picking out melodies, and I had an immediate gift for attractive, memorable melodies. But was that because I did it a lot, or because I had the talent? Got to take a break. We'll be back. Today's broadcast brought to you by Route 60 Hyundai.
So is cinematography your focus then? Cinematography, is that your focus then?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're the behind.
Yeah.
I took some film classes in college, and there was a professor there who was very good at getting people jobs in Hollywood. And that was one of the things he said, is that everyone wants to be an actor, director, writer. He says, but there are jobs that are actually sought after if you've got a good talent.
Hold on.
Cinematography
What are you going to do?
Is
Are
one.
you gonna have the show and
Oh,
out there?
sorry.
So this is good. Now, what you do is write that down. Don't talk anymore about it. You had a professor who taught you about getting jobs? I never heard of anybody that does that before. I want to hear about that.
It's an interesting story. He's a really.
You know, I'm an
interesting
old guy now. There's probably a lot less competition because all the guys that were handsome and beautiful, like I was, and they've all gone, well, I'm not going to make it. So they split or they died. So I could come in now and play fat old guy, you know.
Well, they might have a
Old
mark
old
for
guy.
an old baby.
I'm a bowling fit. Oh, did you see that post?
Yeah, we talked about.
Did you laugh when you saw it?
Yeah, it's funny.
Oh, you saw the post too? Was it funny?
It was funny.
I just woken up and I took a nap. I said, did you see it
No,
on Facebook? Wow.
which one was that?
I had 4 pictures of me. I just woke up and took a picture.
Oh, yes. Oh, with you. Yeah.
Looking like a
Ooh,
baby.
ooh,
Yeah.
You know, Nick, I used to have a talent agency up in Vermont, and we had to do,
Hold on. You had a talent agency.
yeah.
Don't conduct the interview now. You two could have taken it. Could have been a much more interesting half an hour if you two had brought this up while we were on the air. What are you doing? Oh, we are still on the air. We're on YouTube. I forgot. Okay, go ahead.
So anyway,
We'll revisit this on
my
live radio.
agency
Right?
was assigned the position of doing an advertisement for the lottery, and I had to find all kinds of talent. I had to find a weird, hobo type person, and I went around the streets and stopped people and asked them.
Interesting job.
Yeah, but the best part is when we did the spot, they had, the cameras rolling back and forth, and it was perfect the first time. And they said, this never happened before, and this was non-talent. People had tipped off the street. So we had to do it 3 or 4 times. But it was
Walked
perfect.
it in.
That was so much fun.
Look
Yeah.
down into the sea.
And we did it in grass, which was not good. I could have made some money on it.
I was just
I
told.
rarely work with professional.
What's that?
I rarely work with professional actors. Usually it's amateurs, business people.
Oh, I know, yeah.
Now, did you do editing of your stuff? Or
Yeah,
just-
I produce it, shoot it, edit it.
do you enjoy the editing process?
I love the editing process.
Yeah, that's good,
I
'cause
find
that's-
Oh, that is so creative.
That's really where I usually found the problem starts to go, because there's a lot of people that love shooting, love acting, love directing,
Mhm.
but there's very few people that love editing.
Or have that
I had
talent.
some projects.
I used to edit with my Super 8 camera.
Yeah,
But hours and hours,
Oh, yeah.
gluing the little pieces together.
yeah.
That's kind of a lost art nowadays.
Yeah.
I almost wish I'd been around in that
Hey,
time.
you're drinking my stuff, lady.
Teeny bit. I have to drive through.
Yeah, there's a lot, probably let's start now.
Yeah.
Now they do it all in.
Although it's kind of made a comeback in a lot of
I was
ways.
gonna say, I
But
bet
a lot of people doing that's specialty now. People are doing weddings and Super 8 and everything.
Yeah.
It's
Really?
like, yeah, you can actually pay like double.
I
for
was
someone
a
to do it like that.
Super 8 kid, had my camera on Saturday
Your
morning.
talent, are they, you?
Everybody called them
Talent,
on
are
the
they?
phone.
No,
They were warned.
Gets complicated.
Going with his
I
camera.
keep my shoots real simple.
Right.
We used to do these fake plates, put blood in our mouth, put ketchup in our mouths.
Yeah.
And go.
Nice. Oh yeah,
I could find those.
I still have some of the videos and some of the stuff because I used to shoot a lot too. Yeah,
you?
yeah, a little, oh yeah, we do little videos and different things, a lot of comedy stuff.
So I did all through high school. It's probably how I really did start.
Yeah. Oh,
thinking
yeah.
That way.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I had all these little series with my friends that make them dress up like zombies and run around.
Yeah, yeah.
All kinds of
It's a
crazy
lot of
stuff.
fun. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's what I did too.
When you watch movies, are you critical?
Oh, it's critical, but I'm always analyzing how
Yeah.
look at what they did.
Yeah.
That's the natural
You
thing.
know?
Mhm.
Yeah. I feel like anytime a scene happens, I'm more so breaking the order, where they were set up and how they directed it, and everything, trying to
Yes.
figure it out. You
Right.
know,
Have you watched The Conjuring 2?
not yet.
Oh yeah.
I've been reading it too. I
There's some
really like
interesting
the first-
shots in that.
Yeah.
Now, one of my problems with The Conjuring 2 is that they start off with a lot of really interesting cinematography, and then eventually they just kind of stop.
Really peters
Why?
out.
It's just regular shots for like from I would say, well, from like Act 2 and Act 3 are both just shot. It's almost like they fired the cinematographer or
They
something.
may
like
have had a
halfway.
change of DOP.
It's possible,
Yeah.
but there was all these following shots and floating shots and just really interesting, especially for a horror movie.
Is there a problem?
Boy, I'm sorry. I walk in the room, everyone has to stop talking. Fine. It's bad enough you're on YouTube, man. Everything you say is going out over the air. You can't even talk in front of me. I see how it is.
I thought you might.
You know, it's supposed to be the other way around. People aren't supposed to talk in front of you because you're the all-holy one.
You just give off too much of a holy vibe.
I was gonna come. Because I love your comment on Facebook yesterday to your wife.
Boy,
You're a nerd. You mean I'm a nerd? Name Superbook heroes. DC or Marvel? Never mind.
yeah.
I saw that and I'm like,
Yeah.
I read that and I was done reading. I go, okay, I'm convinced.
Yeah, that was exactly how the conversation went. And after that, I'm like, I gotta post that.
Yeah.
I gotta share that with the world.
Yes,
'Cause that
thank you
was
for sharing that conversation.
Yeah, I didn't think she was gonna say that. I thought she was just gonna start, and after a long list, I was gonna say, "See, you're a nerd, you're a geek." But when she was like, "Well, are you talking Marvel or DC?" I'm like, never mind. Point proven.
She gave the short answer.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. Yeah, that was funny. No, but it's. Have you seen The Conjuring 2?
I have not.
No.
You're
It was
okay?
good. I mean, like, I don't dislike it, but it was just it was something that most people wouldn't have noticed, I think, when watching it. But I was curious if someone who was in. Now I ruined it though. 'Cause
Yeah,
you're gonna look
watch
for
it
it.
now. Yeah, look at that.
But they did some really creative things. I was thinking, this is cool. I like this. I'm looking forward to how this goes during the climaxes and seeing what they do with interesting shots. And they just stopped.
What I love in a horror movie is when they don't have to get all their thrills from an action. When they can do it with suspense. Like, I don't know, have you seen The Strangers?
I just actually started to watch the last night.
Oh, really? Wow.
And the girl that I was watching, we've got a girl that's living with us. And she got way too scared.
Oh, yeah.
And it was
And
like
nothing had
10
been really
minutes in
happening,
the
right?
film. Nothing had happened.
Yeah.
And she's just like, I can't watch this.
Yeah.
And so, we watched Kiss Kiss Bang Bang.
Oh, yeah.
So that's what we watched instead. But
What's great about that movie is if you really break it down, not that much happens. It's really scary. It's all done with suspense. And
have you seen Hush?
I'm going to need you to take over Rhett's in the potty, and I'm going to run out of commercials before he gets done taking up.
No problem.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Nick, what's your last name?
Verola. V-E-R-O-L. It's like Vero with L-A on it.
The Vero LA
Verola.
kid. The Vero LA.
I got it.
Okay, no problem. Almost had to take over for you.
Don't even think about it. I'll get up on the stage one of these Sundays.
We'll switch. That'd
We
be
should
fun.
do that.
Yeah. I'll do the radio one week and you do the sermon.
I'll wear the collar too, and I'll say, as you can see, things aren't going so well for me this week. I look like Rhett Palmer. Oh my God.
That'd be a good opener.
This is my wife, Kate, and she doesn't recognize me lately.
I wonder why.
Not the man I used to be.
So we were just saying that if the pastor here came up on Sunday, so he was, I was late getting into the room just now. He said, well, I was going to take over for you. I said, you better not do that, but I'll take over some Sunday on stage. And then I got up and I said, hi, I'm Richard. Obviously, I'm not doing too well. I look like Rhett Palmer this week.
I think we should do it sometime.
Yeah, we should do it.
People would come. They would. I want to hear Rhett
No,
preach.
they wouldn't come.
You don't think they'd
I
come?
don't think I have that kind of a draw. I don't know.
Oh, really?
Oh, because I'm the local guy. I'm kind of like Jesus.
Oh.
In this way.
Okay.
In this
Someone
way.
needs to put that on Facebook right now. Rhett Palmer. I'm kind of like Jesus. And he's
Kind of
saying
like Jesus.
He's saying it in this humble way.
No, but he wasn't recognized in his own town. You know? It's
Yeah.
like, he's fun.
Yeah, that's right.
Hey, that's Rhett. That's kind of Rhett. Yeah, he's been here forever, man. 23 years talking on the radio. You know, I hear him on the radio, and that's all I want to hear him. The nice thing about him being on the radio is I can turn him off.
A lot of people try to make me into something I'm not. And I'm really not that big a guy. I'm just kind of like Jesus. Palmer.
Yeah, but that's not fair. I'm kind of like Jesus.
Such humility.
And there are people out there that'll take that the wrong way like that, you know?
Yeah.
But anyway, so-
Well, especially because you paused. If you just kept going, it would have been fine. But you said, "I'm like Jesus."
I'm kind, and I said, I'm kind of like
Kinda like
Jesus. Yeah,
Yeah.
a prophet is not without recognition, save his own town,
That's right.
which is true. Familiarity breeds contempt.
Mhm.
And I'll tell you the truth, now you young men need to listen to this. So we're in the business, in some monkey business up in upstate New York, and we're going to fly in
Mhm.
this speaker for our conference. Hey, we're bringing in this guy, this big shot, and he's flying in from Vero Beach, Florida. Where's that? I don't know. It's somewhere down there below. But anyway, big shot from Vero Beach.
Yeah.
So guy flies in from Vero Beach. Oh, yes, tell us, oh great wise one. Now, you're down here in Vero Beach and you're having a conference.
Yeah.
We're hiring a big shot coming in from New York. Yeah. See, if you're over 500 miles away, you are an expert.
That's right.
Held in high esteem.
Yeah.
I literally on this show had a consultant come on the show,
Mhm.
and now he's retired. He said, "These are the secrets." He says, "First of all, I used to charge $2,500 a day. I got getting too busy, so then I charged $5,000 a day, and my business increased doublefold
Wow.
because they think you're more valuable."
Yeah.
You know. And if you come from 500 miles, he said, and never go to lunch with a client.
Mhm.
And I said, why? He says, because you're going and having lunch with the guy,
Mhm.
and he's paying you $5,000 a day consultation for his corporation.
Yeah.
Well, where'd you go to school? Well, I went to MIT. Well, I went to MIT. Well, that's where I got my MBA. That's where I got my MBA. What am I paying you for?
Yeah.
See, people don't want to know the vulnerability. So when Jesus was hanging, it's like, yo, man, I don't know. Just saying like he's laying hands on, that's just a carpenter's son, you know?
Did anyone else notice that people from MIT apparently in Rhett's mind talk with a southern accent? He's like,
Notice that.
I got an
I thought that was
MIT.
Urban. I was trying to
No,
do
no,
Urban Black guy.
Urban was Jesus. I could tell that Urban was Jesus, but I was okay with that because
I was trying to do the Urban Black guy thing. You know?
that's right. Came from the that was later. That was the Jesus one. You're like, I'm chilling with Jesus, man. Yeah, that's right.
Brett's got street cred.
Yeah. Well,
What is
Jesus
it called?
You got some street cred there.
Street cred.
Hey, I'm cool with that because Jesus, he grew up in the ghetto.
You know, there's a dictionary out now strictly on street crud, like you said.
Urban
Yeah,
Language.
the Urban Dictionary.
Yeah, you've seen it.
Oh yeah.
Every
Who the heck put
millennial.
that
You gotta look stuff up there.
Yeah.
And who was cool enough to be able to write it?
Yeah.
That's what I want to know. Where did you get that from? How did they ascertain that stuff?
It's actually like Wikipedia that anybody can go in and write.
You know, I'm
Definitions.
really humbled.
Mhm.
See, nobody has loved me enough, esteemed me highly enough I have nothing. You go to
don't have a
Wikipedia,
Wikipedia page?
and you go there and there's just Rhett.
Rhett.
Palmer. Nobody loves me.
I'm
So
actually
no
a little
count.
shocked by that.
Yeah.
I know some people that are not very well known that have Wikipedia pages.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have a Wikipedia page, but I'm not
Okay,
surprised
so-
by that.
So let's get back to Nick.
All right, yeah, let's talk about Nick, because he's gonna have a Wikipedia page. if he doesn't already.
Okay.
Right.
So
I don't believe
now
I
they're all-
do.
now they're-
Are you
Now-
on IMDb?
I don't think so.
No, nothing?
I've never
Even
put anything
Crewman
on
or
places like
anything?
that. No.
I want to check on this. See if you're on
See,
IMDb.
now
There is a
they're
one for
looking
me.
at me like frogs in a rainstorm. When we went to commercial break, went to the news break, suddenly Richard's talking about his professor that could get people into movies in Hollywood. And then Beverly was telling her story about you used to have a talent agency. And they're doing this whole show. And I said, why are you doing the show off air? And now, of course, like I said, they're sitting here, blink, 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 frogs in a rainstorm.
I'm
Blink,
blinking at all. I'm
blink.
trying to figure out if Nick's on
Right.
IMDb.
What about the professor?
But don't you think the listener wants to hear from you?
No,
That's why they turn on this program.
no, they don't.
Yes, because I'll tell you, when I go somewhere socially, everybody will say, oh, Russ. No, it's not Russ. It's Rhett Palmer. Oh, he's better. And people love you. I'm not just
I
saying
pay
that
those
because-
people to approach you at parties and say that.
Yeah, there you go.
Hey, water boy.
Hey, do you see that guy?
He's $5. And go up to that lady over there. Pretty one. Yeah, the one with the blonde hair.
One day you'll be on.
One day.
So, Nick, what got you into filmmaking?
Coming from a family where everybody had a camera around, I think I just started playing with a camera from a young age. I mean, there's pictures of me, as a little kid getting baths in my dad's darkroom tub. Just grew up in the darkroom and always run around with a camera. And, when I got to high school, I was always making my friends dress up like zombies and do all kinds of acting things and put up little videos. And, I had a great time doing it. Never pictured it as a career until after college. And, and I realized I could actually do something with it, and been very fortunate over the last 5 years.
Now, what aspect of filmmaking is the thing that...
Don't try to make up for this jive, asking them all these questions now. I'm talking about your professor.
I'm getting there, Rhett.
Come
It's
on!
a natural progression, because he's going to say cinematography, and then I'm going to talk about my professor.
Oh, okay.
Now you
Hey,
ruined
hey.
it, Rhett. You ruined it. This is going to be natural. People are going to say, hey, they've never said this before.
Commercial cinematography.
I had a professor in college. It was a film history professor. He's a very interesting guy, actually, because he was a professor at the University of Michigan. But he was really frustrated because the program was designed in a way that the students loved, but couldn't get people jobs because they were preparing everyone for the same job. And those jobs in Hollywood, nobody's looking for jobs for director.
Right.
So he said, actually, community college approached him and they said, we'll give you everything if you're willing to be a professor here. You can design the whole program. So he did. And he's gotten a lot of people jobs in Hollywood because there's certain jobs in Hollywood that are rare skill sets. And one of them he used to talk about was cinematography.
Rare skill set.
Yeah. So there are a lot of people who like...
Hey, Joe, this one can belch on command.
My phone just thought you were... Hey, Joe.
Hey, Joe.
Thought you were talking to
Siri?
Yeah, Siri.
No, say hey, Siri.
Hey, Siri. As I'm doing it.
See?
Yeah.
Your phone likes me.
When you move and...
But it
Hey,
sounds
Siri.
like a guy phone. I didn't know you have a guy voice on there?
No, I have a girl voice.
Oh, well, I didn't sound like a guy.
But I noticed, by the way, you have an Australian voice, don't you?
That's right.
She said,
No,
apparently,
she's
Red
British.
has a thing
She's
for...
British.
Oh,
I couldn't understand the Australian.
Oh, okay.
Hey, you go to Zimbabwe. Hey, arm me down.
Apparently,
Who's the lady she's married though over at who's the lady over at the Vero Beach Art? Sonia is her name? Oh my word. Sophie. Beautiful Sophie.
you would choose Sophie?
Huh?
If you had a choice, you would choose Sophie?
Well, I'm not gonna say that.
So, I'm just making a movie
You're trying to
reference
get me
there.
in trouble?
No.
You're trying to get me in trouble? Would you choose Sophie? Because your wife's listening, boy. I see she ain't gonna be playing the drums on your stage on Sunday. Where'd she go to? Well, he said he wanted Sophie, then have Sophie.
See, I was going to go to... No, that's Sophie's choice.
Oh, he was looking for the joke. He was working for the joke. That was very good.
Always.
That was good. So anyway, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, you just tuned in on Facebook. This is Beverly.
Hi there.
Hi.
I'm the concierge and I make coffee.
She makes coffee.
And I greet people, make them feel comfortable.
Yep. And over here, our special guest today is Nick.
Hello, Facebook.
Nick. Now contact Nick
behind the camera.
Garola, and he's promised me a 30% commission on any gigs he gets from being on my show. I'll put towards my video. He doesn't know this yet. He's while on air.
That's right.
Can't contest Palmer on the air, Dad. I told you he was going to take advantage of me, son. Gotta watch out for those guys. So anyway, Nick has just gotten back from a foreign territory. Where were you, Nick?
We were in Baja, California.
Baja,
Which is actually
California. Pardon me?
Which is actually Mexico.
Mexico.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, Baja, California. I was thinking, I'm thinking, Baja, California.
Yeah, how'd it go? How'd the shoot
what we
go?
doing there?
It went great. We were shooting a TV show, Destination Baja Sur Season 2. And we went down the whole coast, starting in Cedros and going all the way down to Cabo San Lucas. and we did 3 episodes, and we're going back in September, October to finish. Very interesting. Saw some incredible. We were fishing in the middle of whale migrations, filming with my drone, packs of 40, 50 whales at once. It was pretty incredible.
You went out on a whale watch?
No, it wasn't even a whale watch. We were out fishing. We were out fishing for calico bass, and all of a sudden there were plumes all around us.
You're not prone to seasickness?
Oh, no, not at all.
I just got back from Bah Harbor. I went out on a whale watch, and I threw up in the barf bag. Straight. The kids, you know what the kids said? Got back. What was your favorite trip to Maine? Oh, it was Uncle Rhett barfing in the barf bag and the pool at the Hampton Inn. Mom and Dad spent what, $10,000 for the vacation. What's the memory? Uncle Rhett in a barf bag and out on the whale watch and the pool at the Hampton Inn.
Yeah, Rhett Palmer throwing up, priceless. For everything else, MasterCard.
So what show were you shooting over there?
Destination Baja, sir.
Destination Baja, sir.
Yeah, sir.
Sir.
That's the name of their state. It's
Oh, I thought
Baja,
you were
sir.
calling. I thought maybe you were calling me sir. I said, no, he's not going to be calling me sir.
No.
So I said,
Yeah.
must be surf.
Yeah, it's the states. There's 2 states. It's a peninsula. It's Baja North and then Baja South, which is Baja Norte and Baja Sur. Baja Sur.
Yeah, Baja.
So yeah, that was
Is
very
that what that
interesting.
guy said in that Christmas story? Baja.
Yeah,
Ah.
Baja. Yeah, maybe in the Mexican version.
So now, so when you're there, do they have you work in an accelerated fashion? In other words, we got Nick 1,000 a week, so we're going to be doing 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We were shooting. Is that the way it works?
Well, we have really long hours. I remember one day we went out at 4 a.m. fishing, got back, did a lunch segment of cooking up the fish we caught, and then went and did a hotel segment showing off a whole hotel. And then we went and did a nightlife segment.
We caught the fish, then we had a cooking the fish segment, then we had the eating the fish. Then we had a hotel segment. Wait a second. What happened, young man, at the hotel? Oh, we went to bed for the night, and you did a segment on this. Oh, made more money on that segment, I bet you.
Nick, you were with the film industry. That's what California is all about.
Right.
I'm surprised you went ahead with this project because I would have thought somebody else had thought about it before you.
Well, I was a field producer on this. The executive producer, he does all the funding and puts everything together. And then when he calls me up, I fly out there and we head down and start producing.
Oh, so you had a contact. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah.
I
He
understand.
hires me and brings me wherever he goes.
Okay. Wonderful.
Yeah.
Okay, it's nice having you in here. Bye.
So, Nick,
Tell them about your talents group.
My talent, well, it was a talent modeling agency for people
Uh-huh.
over the age of 40. Because there was when you look at the magazines, everybody's 20 years old. And I think it's interesting when they talk about wrinkles and they have this 20-year-old saying, look, I don't have any wrinkles. Of course she doesn't.
It's
So I
idiotic.
decided we better have some 40-year-olds so people could relate to the ads. And it was very successful.
Really?
Yes.
So do you think maybe they should introduce, I think they should, have you ever watched
Fellini, give me a few examples.
Fellini Satyricon, 8.5? Well,
Maybe
you
before my
need,
time.
you need to go to film school, kid, because that's what they do. I've been to film school 4 times, and what you do is you take all these classes where you watch these really weird artistic movies.
Yeah.
It's sort of cinema verite. Fellini would get on the set in Italy, and he would just, well, no, not a set. I mean, he'd be walking down the street, set up the camera, and said, "Hey, lady, you, hey, Vinny, come here. Hey, buongiorno. Hey, you want to be in the movies? Excuse me. Anyway, and a big fat lady, could sit here, eat pizza, and he would shoot this, and people go, well, Henry, that's really interesting. He just shot an enormously fat woman eating pizza over there at Vincent's Pizzeria in Vero Beach.
it's interesting.
Cinema verite.
I think that it feels like you've gotten your view of Italians from Godfather and playing Nintendo. That's what it's like.
Nintendo.
Yeah, the
Mario Corleone.
Hey, so we got the pizza.
That's all right. You're Italian.
I'm half Italian, half
You're right.
Russian. Yeah.
Half
Oh,
Italian,
right.
half Russian.
I got all the boxes.
That's the Robia.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's quite a mix, huh?
So we have what's
Now-
that dish that they're famous for in Russia? The noodles and the beef stroganoff.
Stroganoff.
Ah, we're gonna make you an offer you can't refuse. Come on in for some beef stroganoff.
That's pretty good. Nice.
Actually, I was in Moscow,
Uh-huh.
and I went to the famous library. This is where Gorbachev, Nixon, all these, but Reagan, all these people had dinner with the big shots over there. And anybody can go there. It's a restaurant, you know. But anyway, ice cold vodka, my brothers. When I was still drinking ice cold vodka.
Mhm.
But they serve beef stroganoff. This beef stroganoff is to die for.
Mm.
It's a
Really?
Russian dish. I don't
Yeah.
know what they do. Isn't it funny how some places they're like the tomatoes are really good tomatoes are indigenous to New Jersey. Have you ever had a New Jersey tomato pie?
Definitely. Oh, yes.
Oh my
I haven't
word!
found one
If I
like
could open
this.
one of those up here and I'm going down the street.
Mhm. Yeah.
Seriously.
Beefsteak tomatoes.
Yeah. The best pizza I ever had, believe it or not, was on a cruise ship. Not on the cruise ship, but the cruise ship pulled into Dominican Republic.
Mm.
And these guys, Espanol speaking Spanish. I said, geez, I could bring this back. And it was a brick oven. And it was erratic. It wasn't like a perfectly round pizza like here. It was like irregular.
Uh-huh.
But it was the most delicious pizza I ever had in my life.
Mm.
I know this is all very interesting to you. So let's get back to filmmaking. So you wanted to ask Nick something?
Well, what filmmaker would
He's
you
still thinking
say,
about the pizza.
or cinematographer, has been the biggest influence for you?
Yeah.
You know, I'd say the first filmmaker that really spoke to me and inspired me was Wes Anderson.
Oh, all
You
right,
know,
yeah.
And The Life Aquatic. That
That's
was
a cool story.
Yeah, he does great films. You know, he's kind of a unknown quantity to a lot of people. You know, I
Yeah.
mentioned his movies to a lot of people and they don't know him, but I mean, the cast and crews he gets together, he's certainly known in that circle in Hollywood.
Do you know the story of how he became famous, how he became well known?
No, I don't.
Yeah, so he was a lot like you, where he just got together with his friends and
Mhm.
made films.
Mhm.
And so they got together and they made a short film. His friends happened to be Luke Wilson and
Uh-huh.
Owen
Right.
Wilson.
Okay.
So
And they weren't famous yet?
they were not famous at all. No, they
That
all
makes a lot
got
of sense.
famous from the same thing, which ended up being a short film that was then later they got some.
I know Owen's famous. Is Luke famous?
Luke is famous too. Oh yeah, Luke Wilson. Oh yeah, he's in a lot of films.
Really?
They're always in his films. I knew there had to be some connection there.
Yeah, yeah, there is. So they were friends growing up, and they just would make films together. And they did a little short, and it did well in some of the film festivals. So they got money to make a movie, and it was Bottle Rocket. I don't know if you ever watched it. Bottle Rocket.
That was a good movie.
No budget they had. I mean, basically, very
That
little
was
budget.
a good movie.
Yeah, and it did really
You know
well.
what I want to know about Kickstarter? What is it
Yeah.
about this new generation? Now, are you guys officially? Are you too old, or are you part of the new? You're part of the new generation, right? You're right at the end of it, right?
I get to. I'm not
30
part
now.
of the generation, but I'm part of the millennials. So if we're
Well, you
talking
are. Well, then that's
I
it,
am a
isn't it?
millennial.
Okay.
But there's a generation
This is
Y,
what I wanna
Z,
know is-
or XY. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah.
The
yeah,
new
there's-
generation
There's a
is-
term for every generation.
I don't know if you're in it or not. You might not be in it.
Yeah.
You might be too old.
I was born in '88. I think I'm probably a year or two shy.
Okay, let me ask my question here. Okay, so, geez, you got me all cars. Now, in the old days, you'd want to teach people about tithing. Well, that preacher got up and said, let's do something religious. Let's have a collection.
Yeah.
And everybody get ticked off. I'm not going back to that church anymore. That preacher's talking about reciprocity and karma and stuff, and forget about it. He wants me to give a check. Yeah, it must be embarrassing. Are you out there listening? Are you not embarrassed when the basket goes by and you put a buck in there? I see you. You don't think I have peripheral vision?
Well,
It's
we
like,
don't, we
you
don't
know,
even pass the bucket at our church.
no,
Yeah.
but a buck.
Yeah.
You know, but keep it for yourself. You know, geez, hey, big spender. Anyway, so well, because you know, like Rockefeller, people don't know when he was picking potatoes.
Yeah.
He gave 1/3 of his income away to the poor, the needy, and the church.
Yeah.
They still, as a family, do that today. And when you got billions, that means you're making 100. Let's say you're making 100 million a year. Can you imagine what it's like to write the check for? Okay, 35 million bucks, 33 and a half, excuse me, 33 and a half million bucks. You're gonna write that. Gee, I don't know. I kind of wanted to buy that island off of Spain. I think can we just forego the tithing this year? But anyway, so now you've got this generation. This perplexes me. So all of a sudden now we have GoFundMe, and people are they give money.
Yeah.
People Kickstarter. you want to get a motion picture going. All of a sudden you find this famous motion picture and they go on Kickstart and a guy like me might give $10 and you might give $1 and somebody else might give $2. The next thing you know is you got to, okay, could you turn that off, please? That's making noise. He's got the alarm going. He's trying to irritate me with that alarm. He's looking at me.
It worked.
You're trying to irritate me. I know you are. What did he say? What did he say? I don't know.
He's trying to get you to go to break.
Oh, we got to go to break. Okay, Nick, tell him we got to take a break.
We got to take a break. We'll be back. Stay tuned.
There you go. You troublemaker.
Mhm.
He's our push pin baby. Like, you know, have those dolls that you push the pins in. So he gets to be our push pin baby.
So,
We can blame
Kickstarter.
anything.
That would be a nice way to get something funded.
Yeah, I tried that once. I
don't think
I didn't get anybody.
I'd love to get a documentary going about this lagoon and everything that's happening.
It's horrible what's going on
Yeah,
there.
I think that would make for a great
I want to make it.
documentary.
I have a friend of mine. You know, I need to introduce you. By the way, you might want to come up with it. He's shooting a major motion picture up in Savannah starting this month. I should introduce you.
Very cool. I love
And
that.
he has a top-selling documentary out right now on his father. His father created Call on Hold. You don't know about Call on Hold, do you?
Mhm.
See,
Come on.
he's part of that generation.
Millennial.
Call forwarding,
Oh, of course,
and
of
all this
course.
stuff. Anyway, and AT&T ripped him off. Well, there's a movie called Genius on Hold. Oh, here comes. Oh, that's right. We have somebody calling in, don't we? Oh, brother, now we can have an actual, real guest coming in.
Poor Nick.
No, but I mean, like, no, but I mean, we can have fun in here, but now we gotta have somebody that we gotta go, all right, when were you born? How long did it take you to write the book? How many days? You use typewriter or you use computer? Okay, no, not necessarily.
You can always ask random questions. I've always thought it would be fun to have like some.
Look at the first question. I swear to God, look at the first question they gave me. Why did you write this book?
Oh.
You obviously have enough money to live comfortably and luxuriously. You are successful in business. Why are you taking the trouble to push these ideas? Okay, let's see it. Rhett, for Wednesday's interview with Walter Racquet. It looks like racket, but it's
Oh, it's French.
R-A-Q-U-E-T. Racquet.
What is that racket?
List of suggested questions for Walter Racquet
Well,
about
they're
his book.
suggested.
Government is killing the economy. Now, actually, that does sound like it's important. So that'll be coming up next. Well, government does kill the economy,
Mhm.
Yeah.
even locally, because you got these numbskulls who are downtown. Sorry, but they're numbskulls,
Mhm.
and they get their paycheck on Friday, no matter what. So some little guy, like those people that wanted to start that little sandwich shop over on 17th, they kept dragging it. It took them 3 years to open up their sandwich shop.
No.
That's
I tell you what, I think what they really need to do is have accountability. There's no accountability. Well, I was busy this week. Come back next month, and we might have you the license to build your new kitchen or whatever it might be. What they should do is to say, the government should say, you have 6 months to help this company open up their business, or 9 months, whatever it is. It's got to be a good time. But after that, until they get going, we withhold 50% of your paycheck until it's completed, because we won't be getting the tax dollars, And I got another point. Everybody listening, I want your help on this. They have those buses in town. Now, the guy selling the bus ads is a nice guy. I have nothing against him. But I'm in business. It took me years to cultivate this business. So I pay taxes. Now, with the taxes, they buy these buses. Okay? And now they're selling ads on the side of the buses. Well, companies only have so much advertising dollars. So he's taking away from me. And then I went to see the lady in charge, and I was at a rally's sports rally. She goes, well, the profit we make from that goes. I don't care the government's not supposed to be in a profit-making business.
Rhett, your guest, Walter Racquet, is on the phone.
Okay, good. Hey, Walter. How you doing? This is Rhett Palmer. I'm all right. You ready to go on? I want to tell you about this story. Now, there's a local. Okay, we have these local buses that's bought by the government, right? Now, I sell advertising. I've worked years and years and years to build up my business. 23 years I've been on the air. 7 years I work on my magazine. So they take my tax dollars and they buy these buses. That's okay. We're known. As a matter of fact, we have a marina that boaters come from around the world because we're famous because we have these beautiful buses that pick them up. It's called Go Line. And they pick people up and drive them around. Well, they also, now they pick up the poor folks in town who can't afford to have a bus, and it's a free bus ride. It's all over town. But now they're selling advertising on the buses. Now, businessmen only and business ladies only have so much money to spend on advertising. So they're competing for the advertising dollars that I'm working for. I paid for their buses, and now they're taking their buses and competing against me. So I asked the lady in charge in Vero Beach, Florida. She said, oh, well, we take the profits and put it towards such and such. I don't care. You're not supposed to be making a profit. Government's not here to make a profit. You need more money? Why don't you see about legislating more taxes? Or you'll have to cut back like the rest of us do. And, this is not right. There's got to be some ways. So I'm going to hire I'm going to have to sue the city. Matter of fact, and remember Mr. Zork, when he sued the city, they had to pay him millions of dollars.
Okay.
So send the word out in Vero Beach, Florida. If they shut it down or I'm suing, baby. I'm 62. I got nothing to lose. I don't have any kids. I got nothing. Everybody I loved is dead. So you know what that is? You don't want to. That's the kind of guy you don't want to ruffle his feathers because I got nothing to lose. Okay, so now, are you ready to do that show with me now?
Now he doesn't want
well,
to.
No, this guy's doing this book. What's the name of your book, Walter? Government is killing the economy, and this is the typical thing. We have this little restaurant in town here called Dagwood's on 17th. Have you been to Dagwood's?
No.
It took them 3 years to open up because they dragged their heels about giving them the license and giving them approval for this and that. And I say, hey, they have no accountability. Those people that work for the city get their paycheck every Friday. Hey, it's time for my paycheck. Well, we weren't able to sell any sandwiches this week, so my children and my wife are starving. Well, that's not my problem. I get my paycheck from the government. I'm going off on a holiday for the weekend. It's not right. There's no accountability. And in today's world, and see, in the 50s, we had what's called morals. And they were the accountability. We got to help Mr. Smith out because he and his family can't feed their family. Today, it's like, I don't care about Mr. Smith. Okay, I, me, mine. I, me, mine. I, me, mine. You ever hear that song by George Harrison, I, me, mine? No one's frightened of saying it. Everyone's playing it, growing stronger all the time. I, me, mine. Find the George Harrison song, I, me, mine. Please.
I do think that millennials have morals, I have to say.
Oh, there you are. You're on the radio.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, we're going to get going here. We're going to have to shut off the Facebook. God bless you all that are viewing on Facebook because you won't be able to hear the phone conversation. Same for you people on YouTube. I apologize to you folks on YouTube. Here's the camera, see? Did you ever know that you look like that on YouTube? Yeah, that's what you look like. Hold on a second, Walter.
Selfie.
You better watch out with the camera guy. Hold on.
I have it. What do you want me to do with it? When do you want to use it?
Let's come in with it. How many people were viewing this just then?
Yeah,
52 people.
not bad. Wow, that's actually really good.
Decent.
How would you like to use the George Harrison song, Rhett? Do you want to come back with it? Do you want to hold on to it?
Yes, sir. Come back in with it. Forget about the Rhett Palmer shtick. Well, you could go Rhett Palmer and then start it. How's that? Because we want to impress the guest that's on the line from California,
You know, impresses your producer? Making a decision.
I made a decision. I came in here today, didn't I?
Yeah, and I've been regretting that decision all day.
Yeah. You better, boy. So he plays the jingle anyway, of course. So you played the jingle anyway. Look at that. You gonna play that song? You gonna play that song or no?
No, I'm not gonna play it now.
All right. This is George Harrison, and it's called I, Me, Mine, I think.
Mhm.
You know,
Stop play.
this is, it's not playing. Okay.
This was George Harrison.
My phone now.
Okay, well then I'll sing it. No one's frightened of saying it. Everyone's playing it, growing stronger all the time. I me mine, I me mine, I me mine.
Stop thinking. I'm getting
What?
fixed. I'm getting fixed.
Oh, wow, Sparky.
Okay. Well, do we have Walter Riquet on the line?
I do.
Hello, Walter. How are you doing, Walter? We're live from the studios here on iHeartRadio nationally on WAXE. We're also on 107.9 FM, 1370M. And Walter, are you calling in from Hollywood? Manhattan. I'll take Manhattan. Seriously, I will take Manhattan over Hollywood at this point, you know. So he has written the book, Government is Killing the Economy. What provoked you to write this book, Walter? Yeah, but you know, this has probably been going on forever. Yeah. Well, because there's no consequence. You know, right here locally, the local sheriff's office, okay, they get a 3% every year. That means every 10 years, 30%. Now, if I were charging 30% more for my advertising, you're right, I haven't had a raise in 15 years. I have not raised my rates in probably 13 years. Okay?
Wow.
Yeah. So every 10 years, that's 20% increase. So if you're making 100,000, you're making 120. If you're making 60, you're making 72. What would be it?
66.
Yeah. Yeah, 72. That's a big jump. You can buy a lot more groceries with that extra 12,000 a year. And did you know this, Walter? I work for myself, and I'm 62 years of age, and I still have to work. I'm thankful for this. I actually love what I do. But if you work for the government, you make 7 times what someone in the private sector will make on retirement. Now, is that right? The government is our money. Well, for instance, I got a friend of mine who was a local sheriff and a local commissioner. So let's say he's getting $100,000 a year till the time he dies now from the government, okay? All right, now how much money would I have to have invested to have $100,000 a year coming in? You're looking at what, 2.5 to and now right now with the numbers as bad as they are, I'm not sure, but let's say you have 3 million and you're making 5%. So that would be 150,000 at 3.5%. Okay, so you're looking at least 3.5% and 3 million. Now, you as a government worker, you can't go in and touch your $3 million, but ostensibly you have a $3 million savings account, which is reaping you 3.5%. And that's my money. While I have to go out and go, hello, could I think we need to apply for food stamps. And I worked all my life, and I mean, this is terrible. People deciding whether they're going to have groceries or their bills paid, right, Beverly?
Yes. Yeah, we're struggling.
Do you know people like that?
Yes, I do. Mhm. Mhm.
You behave yourself, young man. He works 3 jobs.
Mhm.
Sparky, wow.
Yes.
Sparky works 3 jobs.
Yeah.
3 jobs.
Now, do you have to work at the other ones? That is very well.
Don't you give me that jive, boy. All right, so listen, Walter, what do we do now? In your book, Government is Killing the Economy, I want this to be a big success for you. What do you think if we could make this a #1 New York Times bestseller? Do you think it'll help our economy? Why?
business executives and industry experts that oversee the entire product inspection system and the board of directors, and it would include about 600 or 700 people who would volunteer their services.
So two parties, Democrat and Republican. That sounds interesting.
You need a bipartisan solution. You can't, this divide that we have is just destroying everything. Nothing should get done.
So you're saying government is not the solution to your problem. Government is the problem.
That's for sure. And government is the problem, and we've got to get government under control. It costs too much money. We cannot afford to have government. We need raises for the middle class.
Now, of course, raises for the middle class. How do you do that governmentally if government is the problem? You think just getting it out of the way?
Well, let me give you an example. The Internal Revenue Code, 74,000 pages, 3 stories high. A business pays $288 billion in taxes. They have to spend $300 million to hire experts on how to file those taxes.
Mhm.
In those 74,000 pages is $1.5 trillion in carve-outs for special interests that our politicians have owed. So we've got to scrap that code. I mean, there's a lot of brilliant proposals out there, having like a graduated flat tax and making it very simple. The taxpayers file on a postcard.
What do you think about the idea of only having a sales tax? Having a federal sales tax? Mhm. I had an economic professor who used to talk about the sales tax because you could get all the money from drug dealing and all the black market stuff. They still have to buy things, so they'll still be taxed. You also don't need an IRS anymore, which is a positive thing in my mind. Yeah. So what is your specific tax proposal then?
About 2 million proposals, and I think there's a lot of really good things in it. It should be simple. Every part of government must be cost effective and efficient and understand the reason why the 74,000 pages could be reduced to, 100,000 pages.
I heard of a governor who used to say that for every law that we write, we should be required to take one off the books. What do you think about that?
That's an interesting thing. There's a group called No Label that has 1.3 million members, and that's one of their 17 points.
Because we just, as a people, end up passing more and more laws, and every law requires some kind of force to enforce. So we have to pay money for the people that are enforcing these things.
That's for sure, and it just creates more and more bureaucracy, and it doesn't help employment. Just to give you an idea, Pricewaterhouse did a study of 1,400 people that were 73% of all of them said that overregulation is what is hurting their ability to grow their business and to hire people.
Of course, part of the problem is when people look at, they go to vote in a local election, they see some kind of legislation, they never see a price of what it's going to cost when it describes what they're going to do. And so we got to not only the cost of implementing it, but the cost of maintaining it.
Okay, now, if the election of Hillary Clinton or Donald Trump, which one would give your ideas the best chance of being enacted? I'm presuming it's Donald Trump. Well, it's the demand though. I open up an oil change business in town, and I'm charging $40. Nobody's coming. I got to lower it to 30. I got to lower it to 28. I got to lower it to 22, and then all of a sudden they start flooding in. Then I know I've hit the magic button. But there's no consequence with government because I was in upstate New York, at the Baseball Hall of Fame. I parked my RV in the wrong spot and I got a ticket, which I deserved at Cooperstown. So I go down to see the clerk of the court. I walk in, there's this little pudgy, short, little jolly fat woman, and her and I got along great. We're telling jokes and talking and laughing. And I said, don't worry about it. I'll pay the $35. I know I deserve it. But anyway, so we're talking and she has all this beautiful furniture. And I said, wow, this is like really beautiful, expensive furniture for a government office. You know, this is New York State for you. She goes, well, I get this $100,000 every year, and they tell me we're 30 days out. Last year, I bought all these computers, so I don't need new computers. She says, and they said if I don't spend, it's actually 90,000. If I don't spend the 90,000, then I won't be allotted that money next year. So she said, so I bought all this furniture. That's the thinking of government.
Yeah.
Now, this was told to me, not to somebody else. This isn't hearsay. This isn't some jive, ladies and gentlemen. This is Rhett Palmer, brought up, shining shoes and selling lemonade in upstate New York, from Poughkeepsie, New York originally. I'm an honest kid inside an older man's body now. But but seriously, this is face to face. This lady said, if I don't spend that money, they won't allot me that money the next year. That's the way government works. I wish I could run my little radio show in my magazine like that.
Oh, that's appalling. Mhm.
Back in 1997, I fought with the government on some regulation, and I lost. But that regulation that went in cost us 18 million jobs over the next 15 years.
How?
And basically separated what's called the initial public offering market in the United States. We used to do half the IPOs. Now we're ranked 11th in the world. We used to do 700,000 a year, and now this year we've done 31 so far. And this has caused us tremendous amounts of jobs. Intel was a $7 million IPO in the 70s that now employs 100,000 people. I mean, this is the type of stuff that goes on that doesn't, as you said, no one's watching this. No one's watching.
And the bad thing is, it keeps going on until they feel a consequence. By the time they feel a consequence, anything left over in the banks is going to have to be used to feed the proletariat, because there'll be hungry people in the street, and hungry people cause riots and they cause violence. And then the government says, oh, we made a mistake. We let the liberals in here. Now we got to yes, we'll give you incentive to build business. And they'll say, well, you put us out of business. It's going to take us at least 10 to 15 years to build it up to half of what it was. And that's just what happened in South America. They ruined their economy. They were a prosperous nation. Look what's going on down there, man.
For 4 months we've been trying to pass the NECA bill, and they can't get it because they keep on putting all these earmarks on every bill they pass. Yeah, we can't run it like a business.
I want you to hear my new song, all right? Okay. I'm so sick of politics, con men and their bag of tricks. That cat's making dubious decisions. Washington needs adult supervision. Anyway.
Walter, I have a question. I'm just a citizen here, and I think some of your ideas are not really very good, but where do we start? Do I, as an average citizen, do I go to a representative, my senator? How can we implement what you are talking about?
I would definitely go to your politicians and say, for encourage them that basically we need to have politicians that want to grow the economy, deregulate it, make us more efficient. Why my website, which is deregulateamerica.com.
Hold on, we can turn off the echo, please. Deregulate. DerateAmerica.com. I kind of like this echo thing.
You're gonna just keep it all the time.
Now, the title of your book again, Walter, is Government is Killing the Economy. All right, I tell you what, they're killing me. That's what they're doing. They're killing me. So you have a nice day up in Manhattan. What's the temperature up there, Walter? No, I don't like New York that hot. You know, though, in the spring and the fall, though, it's so romantic in New York, or right around Christmas time. You know, I love New York. I love New York. What a great vacation. Thanks, Walter. Again, the title of your book is? Right. Right. That's right. All right. Have a nice day up there in Manhattan, okay, Walter? Okay. So we have to thank Mr. Suckert for booking him on our broadcast. So, any reflections on that interview?
No, I think you could have told us more.
Well, it's
interesting.
Well, they want to sell the book.
Well, I mean, everybody's
You're the type
talking,
that'll read the book. I should have gotten you a free copy.
yeah, but I mean, everybody's talking about, let's make America great.
Yeah.
How
Okay.
can I fit in? What can I do?
Well, for instance,
Vote.
the government, you vote. Yeah, the government up in New York,
Yeah.
they wanted to build a skating rink,
Oh, that was.
and they
cool.
couldn't build it. And it took them. Trump says, "I'll build it." No, get out of here. So years go by. Finally, Trump says, "Let me build it." I said, "No, we don't." Finally, they relented and said, "Okay, Donald Trump." He had it built in. He said a year. It took him 4 months. Where'd he go? He flew up on his jet to Canada. What did they build in Canada? Skating rinks. He got the thing done. That's what he'll do. Trump is good at connecting the dots.
So he's not following all the rules and regulations, waiting for the period of time you can implement that. I
It's
was
just
wondering.
accelerating the process. Nothing but not.
Mhm,
It's a
okay.
matter of haranguing.
Getting things done.
I don't know. Just,
Yeah.
you get it done, or get out of the way,
Mhm, yeah.
right?
mhm.
Get it done. Oh, get out of the way. And drive those little white trucks a little faster around this town too. This is what actually, the city workers do a great job, don't they? Look out. See all that? See the way they keep all the greenery up there? They do a good job.
Yeah.
And they're hardworking and they're not paid a substantial amount of money. So we
Yeah.
love our city workers. We're
Things
talking
are
when we
rough for
talk,
teachers.
we're not talking about the cops either, because this show loves the cops, the police officers, the firefighters. But we are talking, of course, the firefighters do okay because they're they get unions.
Yeah.
But
Well, and the teachers, now,
Do they do
especially
good?
in Florida, teachers teach because they love kids and they want to teach and they want to help people learn. I've never met a teacher that doesn't do what they do because they love it
that's right.
and they want to make a difference.
The average teacher spends $500 to $1,000 a year on products. This is a true story.
Oh yeah.
Dave
sure.
Walsh and I are putting together this Help a Teacher Fund.
Mhm.
I'm waiting in line out at, what's the place that gives you the 20% off coupon? Bed Bath & Beyond.
Okay.
This lady's in front of me, she got a stack of these coupons.
Mhm.
I said, "Oh, I don't have a coupon." So they said, "Oh, that's okay, I got a stack here, take a few." She gives them to me. I said, "What do you do?" She says, "I'm a teacher." I said, "Oh, well, we have this Help a Teacher Fund." She says, "Oh, well, all the stuff I'm buying here today is for my classroom
Yeah.
that I'm paying for personally."
Yeah.
And that's when we started the Help a Teacher Fund.
That's
And back then, before 2008, we would collect, $10,000. I'd get on the radio morning like this, I'd collect $5,000.
Mm.
People don't call in anymore. They won't give money anymore.
Yeah.
Things are tight.
Yeah, things are tight. But
All right, we're gonna
those-
take a break. So it's your turn. You get to take us out this time.
Oh well.
Now, I want you to say this. Today's broadcast
Today's broadcast
is brought to you by Route 60 Hyundai,
Route 60 Hyundai.
where you'll get a good deal,
Hyundai.
and you'll get a good
deal,
and you'll get a good deal of good service after the buy.
and you get a good deal of good service.
Owned and
after
operated
the
by
buy.
Tommy Chirenza.
Oh, that's it.
Come on,
Owned and operated by Tony Terenza.
Tommy.
Tommy. Oh, I thought it was Tony. Oh, I'm making him more of a gangster.
not Tommy. It's Tommy.
Tommy. All right, Tommy.
about to slap you around. Also, today's broadcast brought to you by Remax Crown Realty, under the auspices of the Kings, Mr. King and Mr. King, father and son. They're really good brokers. They have integrity. You want to make more? Place your license under Remax Crown Realty here in Vero.
Oh,
Are they back from Australia? Do you know the Kings? Have you heard from
One
them?
of them is.
Okay.
How did you know they were in Australia?
Because they were here and I talked with them.
You did. I would recommend, we got our last half an hour coming up here with us. Can you stay to 10:30?
Yeah.
Okay. Because right now we'll talk to Nick again about video, and then
Yes.
and what I thought would make a good video. Seriously, make a video about a small town talk host like myself. You know, we go around with things we're doing. I think it's kind of cool. I ride here on my scooter. See my scooter right there, right?
Ah.
I work 52 seconds from here.
Mhm.
Then we could get my friend Bob, who has his own little private King Air, and I could make an appointment to go and see the governor. The governor's been on my show 18 times. One time he had me up there to record him, and another time he invited me for dinner at the mansion. But we could probably work that out. We fly. We mentioned taking the video. You know, it's kind of cool. You
Like
know,
a
a day in the life.
Like a documentary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like a pretend documentary, but we'll try it.
Mockumentary. We'd
A
have
mockumentary.
to, we'd have
Hey, did you just come up with that? A mockumentary. Man, I'm gonna coin that. Huh? Oh, you didn't come up with that? Oh,
Very common,
oh, a
new,
mockumentary.
yeah, media
Oh,
genre.
it's a millennial thing.
Yeah, Spinal Tap.
But anyway,
mockumentary.
but seriously, people would, I think they'd get a
That's
kick
the
out of what
show.
goes on behind the scenes. Because when Chuck Cannon comes in, he says, the best part, that's why we started to get the camera. He said we should put cameras through the whole thing. He said the best part is when we're off air, the conversations. You know? So,
Mhm.
I agree.
You're too young.
you agree?
Edward
Yeah.
R. Murrow. He used to interview people, go behind the scenes to see how they lived. People need that. They need to know there's a connection to famous people.
Yeah.
Like this guy.
So what do you think?
When people meet me and they say, "Oh, you're with Rhett Palmer," and they want to know about you.
Oh yeah, what do they ask?
Is he married?
It's women.
Single women. Beautiful, rich single women. That's what Barbara said I needed the other day. I said, you need one of those rich women. Actually, I had a friend of mine, owns the car dealership, and says, hey, Rhett, why don't you just get one? There's all kinds of rich older women in town. Why don't you just get one of those? You don't have to work, quit the radio show. What happened to Rhett Palmer?
I don't know. He ended up with that Susan Wright or whatever her name is up there on the beach, and now they're traveling around in her private jet.
I think you'd miss it.
This?
Yeah.
Yeah, give me about a month traveling around, and I'll go,
Mm.
toodaloo, baby. I gotta get back to my radio.
You would be so bored,
Yeah.
really, if you had that much money. where
Want to
you
hear something cool? The Lord gave me this show. He knows the story. I was going through a heartbreak 24 years ago. Albany, New York. I lived up in Albany, Schenectady, Troy. So this girl I broke up, I was devastated. So anyway, we're all holding hands, praying at this people's house, actually Jewish people's house, the Feinsteins. And anyway, so we're all praying, about 7 of us, and this guy puts his hand on my shoulder. It's like Pat Roberts, and he goes, God's telling me that you're going to move from upstate New York, and you're going to somewhere outside of Orlando, Florida, and you're going to have a radio show.
Really?
Well, I was not in the radio business, never been in the radio. So anyway, I forgot about it. In the meantime, 2 or 3 years later, they fly me down to Florida. Maybe it was a year later. They flew me down to the other side of Florida to do this conference. I sang a concert. I did one of my patriotic concerts. And I was hanging around afterwards, and this Catholic lady says, why don't you come to Haiti with us and feed the hungry? I'd already been to Africa. So we do that. We come back to America in Sarasota. She says, oh, we're going to go visit my brother out in the other side of Florida. Where? Over in Vero Beach. Where? Vero Beach. So we come here, we go back. Anyway, 3 years later, I'm driving down, stop in here. One thing leads to another. I'm a guest on a radio show. I sing for the Dodgers on the 4th of July, 1994. I get on a radio show. They call me and they say, hey, you got personality, and we have boring radio. Would you like to be in the radio business? Now, all of a sudden, a couple of years into it, I go, oh, yeah, that guy said that, Now it's 23 years. I think it's a pretty interesting
It is,
story.
Yeah, absolutely. Wow.
So
That's
don't mess with me, because God gave me that.
That's fair.
Now they're all shaking in the boots. What do we say? He's called of God. Oh my God. What do we do?
I'm okay. Not shaking.
You're what?
I said I'm okay. I'm not shaking.
You're not
But
shaking.
I also believe you put an idea into your subconscious, and your subconscious works towards that. I really believe that.
Yeah. Put it out there.
I'm not disavowing what he's saying about God touching him or whatever. I just think that psychologically,
No,
we
it's
are
for the back
capable
of the
so
back
much.
of the studio.
yeah.
You focus on something, and every decision you make will work both.
Well, I had a dream. I was at a marina and somebody was showing me the boats and he said, there's a houseboat. And I said, I'm going to buy a houseboat someday. I put it in my head. And I kept
Yes,
telling
let's go.
everybody, I'm going to Florida, I'm gonna buy a houseboat. And everybody went, yeah, sure, Bev, yeah, you know how to operate a boat. No, but I'm gonna buy a houseboat. And I really worked on that. I went down to the Keys, I went to a marina and bought a houseboat. And friends said, I can't believe you did it. Something told me to do it.
How long did
Now,
you do
I
that?
don't know whether it's a higher power, but you know what I'm saying? I'm not disputing what you preach, because I need to learn still. Was it that, or was it the psychology of my mind? I don't know. Yeah. But I had 2 years lived on the houseboat.
Very cool.
Had a wonderful adventure. Yeah. Mhm.
Right, are we getting back in a second here?
Probably.
All right.
2 minutes.
One time he left, and we were sitting here like, who's going to carry the show?
Yeah, I've had to start from a couple times.
Yeah. I try to warn you if I feel it's coming
I
up.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
Because otherwise I'm just going to be sitting there and going, wait, we're live?
Okay, I now have a question. It's a fashion question. Is it like religiously provided shoes for you?
No.
I swear, like every
Look more
pastor or
religious.
like reverend or anything else has shoes exactly like that. And I'm like, is it like, the policeman has the shiny black shoes,
Yeah.
like pastors and reverends and friars? And one day I'm going to ask you what the difference between, because I don't understand the difference between a friar, a reverend, a pastor, the monsignors, and I'm sure there's like this whole like level thing.
Not
Like,
necessarily.
it's kind of like leveling up,
A lot, yeah. Well, eventually I go Super Saiyan.
Okay. Do you combine with like another one?
That's right, exactly.
You get to
We
choose
go,
the one
like,
you.
with our powers combined, we are,
Did you find something to eat? It looked like you.
I took a look at people.
When you transform, look, I want to see this one. Do you like get the whole
Did you
like
want
Jesus
me to go
cartoon
get
and get
some
like
glow
glowing halo?
sandwiches or
Yeah.
something?
Okay.
Yeah, it's only
You're okay?
happens a few times.
Instead of getting like old glowing flame, you just get like the glowing halo
Do
above
I
your
want
head.
to? Yes.
Exactly.
But don't
Should
do
I?
I think we're coming back
No.
soon.
I'm trying to, do something right.
What do you mean?
I got a package. I'm trying to lose weight, but I'm not trying very hard. Apparently. But anyway, so I bought a package. I went to the Dollar Tree store, and I'll say it on there.
Then we'll just be.
What are you laughing at?
Losing weight.
Yeah, I just love it when Richard Dempsey comes in. The conversations I have with Richard Dempsey are awesome.
Yeah, he said the conversations he has with you are awesome.
Oh, thank you. Live on the.
He's a very-
Dollar Tree store. Dollar Tree.
Yes.
Everything in there is $1.
Amazing, isn't it?
I go in last night. I went in with my glasses, and I walked in and said, "Hey, I don't you think I picked these up here? I already own these." Okay, we took note. So I've done that.
I do that with everything.
Now I'm out with
that I
a
wear.
business now, so I'm thinking, hey man, I'm doing something on the slide here. Nobody will know that I'm wearing Dollar Tree. I see everything at other dollar stores I don't like. The Dollar Tree. There's dollars on the tree, and everything's only $1.
I get
So I go in there.
I
Huh?
get my greeting cards there.
Yeah, for $1.
Beautiful.
I went in last night. I got my deodorant. I have the suspicion that's set up by the government, because this makes no sense. Look at the same shaving cream that I go to Walgreens. It's $3.79.
Right,
In there, it's $1.
$1.
Now, Joseph's Light Cookies used to be for sale at Publix.
Mhm.
They were $3.79. $1. The packaging is a little bit small. You don't get quite as many cookies.
But
So what?
still.
It's $1. You go in there. This is my little secret. I don't know if there's any left in there, are there? They have these root beer pops. 5 for $1.
Oh.
And they're delicious. I love root beer. And then they have the orange with the vanilla ice cream inside, creamsicles.
Oh, the creamsicle.
Now it's not the creamsicle logo, but it's the exact
Oh,
same
I
thing.
love creamsicles.
Oh,
Yeah.
there's some in there right now. Yeah. You want to go get you one?
He's gonna,
Versus the Dollar General, which it's generally $1.
No, I don't like that.
It's like $3.
I like consistency.
Yeah, that's
It's like going to a local restaurant and you go, well, we don't have our regular honey mustard. We have, Billy Bob's honey mustard. No, I want the honey mustard I get here.
Yeah.
No, we are creatures of habit.
Mhm.
That's true. Because I remember there used to be a place called Starbucks Pizza outside of town,
mhm.
and Rick used to own it. He went on to own the New England Seafood or something. Anyway, he's dead. He got whacked in the back of the head in town here by a bandito. He came out of that, and then something else happened, and he died. I don't know what exactly happened. But anyway, they put him out of business because he owned Starbucks Pizza in town here. It was in business for 10 years, and all of a sudden, he's a little guy, so they put him out of business. So anyway, but I used to go out there, and I remember the first time being there, and he served like this salad. I was like, it's okay, and it's honey mustard. And he had a pizza. This was like 15 years ago, man. Then I go back, and I noticed every time I go, I was looking forward to that particular flavor of that honey mustard because I associated it with, you know, get there, you have a good conversation, the pizza, whatever, you know, association. People want consistency. Just like if you go to Vincent's Italian Pizzeria and you get the, I finally got to meet Vincent last night, by the way. He was in town. I think he's moved back here.
There is a Vincent.
He's the son that was named after. So he and Marcos. Lady, would you please decide whether you're going to put those on or off? You're squeaking, everybody. No, anyway, so anyway, if you go get the pasta visual there, it's the same that you would have gotten 23 years ago when I moved to town that you get now.
Oh, it must be really old. They put it in the freezer or something. I'm just adding some color here. Just adding some color.
You better not let me take you to lunch there again. Hey, well, no, hey, Vincent, is that the smart ass preacher that I got on the radio show?
It's my official title.
Give him a little something extra there, just a sauce.
I get extra.
You get extra. You're gonna have extra time on the toilet bowl because what they put in there for you.
Yeah. Yeah, I am the same way though. When I go to a restaurant, I usually order the same thing. I think of myself as adventurous, but I was at Carrabba's last night with my wife, and sure enough, it was a fettuccine wheezy, which is what I get every single time. And just the same thing.
The consistency in our lives.
Yeah.
We want consistency.
Well, when I find something I like, I'm like, yeah, this is good. We'll just do this forever.
I mean, can you imagine if you came in here one Monday and I'm wearing a wig and lipstick and I had a sex change operation? You might be, first time we go, man, that's one ugly woman.
Caitlin Palmer. Where did that come from?
I don't know. Well, I was thinking, what could be radical that you guys would shock you guys? So I figured out that story. Did it not shock you?
Yeah.
I gotta tell you something. If I was a guest regularly and I knew Rhett Palmer, when I came in, he was looking like that, I go, I gotta go now. Matter of fact, this is so bad, I think I'm gonna move out of town.
I think I would say. I think I would probably.
Yeah, you'd be curious.
Well,
Father, somebody has to befriend him. The preacher will always stay, you know.
He looks a little different, but you know, same guy, right?
Same guy.
Same guy. Not exactly.
Same entity.
Left a little something behind in the surgeon's room.
Yeah.
Well, Halloween, you can do that. Why don't you do that when Halloween comes? You know, dress up. Get a wig and some earrings and.
You can dress up like a guy.
Oh, yeah, sure.
We'll be Bonnie and Clyde.
When I was a child, my mother always dressed me up as a Spanish man, and I wanted a princess striped gown and all the
Your mother dressed you up. What?
A Spanish man. She gave me the sideburns and the
Does she have a
mustache.
thing for Spanish guys?
This is sorry. Now, tell us more about this child.
I don't know, but
We gotta get Jerry
Let
Lamont
me ask you, do you
here.
have a thing for Spanish men now? Because that would be interesting. If kind of, you know,
Like a
subconsciously now you're
That's another thing. When you see couples that look like each other,
yes.
do you think they really? First of all, there could be a thing called soulmate. That's what I used to think it was. Or it could be that you find the feminine side of you, or she finds the masculine side of her attractive.
Mhm.
You never notice that? There's some couples, they really look like brother and sister. You go, wow.
Well, they look
I
like
don't
their
know.
dog, or their dog looks like them.
You see that all the time.
Yeah, well, that's the one that's generally not married.
Thankfully. Yeah, sometimes the dog looks like the wife.
Well, I think if you live with somebody long enough,
You better behave yourself. You're a
I'm
preacher.
kidding,
You
I'm
can't-
kidding.
You can't go where I go. You know what the Bible says? Bad companionship ruins good character.
Yeah.
I've warned you about
I
hanging
gotta-
out with
I
me.
gotta watch
but
it,
don't
yeah.
you think when you live with somebody long enough, you
Yeah.
develop their mannerisms?
Oh, absolutely.
They're aneurysms.
And what else?
Well, there might be an
Aneurysms?
aneurysm.
Well, you could, depending
No,
on how
mannerism.
Oh, manner. I thought you said aneurysms. Mannerisms.
I'm just scared of the
I
day
think
that I
that's
start
true.
talking like Rhett. Yeah, I start,
What? Yeah, how do I say?
Who loves you, baby?
Yeah, I can. You'll be making love to your wife. Hey, who loves? What's that? Who are you?
That would be the end of it.
I have a question for Nick, our filmmaker, okay?
Okay, shoot.
How do you find the talent for the different movies that you make?
As far as actors and everything like
Whatever,
that.
all kinds
You
of
know,
talent.
usually it depends. As far as corporate stuff that I do, I like to feature the business owners or someone that's intimately involved with that business rather than having like professional voiceover or something. I think it's more authentic, and those people tend to have more of a natural explanation for what their business is. So usually on those types of things, that is who I would use. Is I'd encourage them to do it themselves, and usually they perform very
And you
well.
know, he does a great job. By the way, we should be talking about him, what he does. And this is a good time of day because this will rebroadcast between 7:30 and 8 in the morning. So that's a very, very good listenership then. You made a video for Waldo's.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know that's where my radio show started?
Really? No, I did
Oh,
not.
yeah. That's when I came to town. And I was on radio to promote my first gig in town, which was singing for the LA Dodgers, 9,000 people out there, July 4th, 1994. The manager calls me and says, "Hey," I said, "What's the matter, sir?" He said, "You were on a radio show yesterday, weren't you?" I said, "Yes, sir." He goes, "Well," he says, "we have boring radio and you have personality. Would you like to be in the radio business?" So it started up that I was the co-host at Waldo's.
Wow.
And we did that for a few months until the manager got fired because he had his hand in the till.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's where I started Waldo's. So you made this great.
Thank you.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
I found it out. You probably used a drone for that high shot at the end.
Yeah,
right?
the ending shot was
Everybody's waving.
Yeah, that was great. Yeah, that was a fun production.
Now,
They've
somebody's
got a great
listening
crew.
right now and they want to go watch your video. How do they do it? They go on YouTube.
They can go to our website,
What
which
is
is www.booktheday.com.
Book
Book the day.
the day.
Book the day.
Oh, that's different.
You
Yeah.
do like weddings and.
Yeah, I started with weddings about 10 years ago. Shot my first wedding when I was 16 years old. So I guess it's been about 12 years now.
Are weddings affordable for regular folks today, or?
Well, they say the average overall wedding is $31,000, which, that's a tall order for a lot of people. So,
And people I know, they have a party for one night up in New Hamptons, and they spend $1 million.
Oh,
No exaggeration.
yeah.
Now, so it used to be
Mhm.
that, if you were a really good photographer, you could get $10,000 for the
Right.
day.
Mhm.
Is the prices still that good?
Well,
Because everybody
here,
has
our
everybody has
prices
an
are
iPhone.
much lower here. We do very good pricing, like a fraction of that here. So
Really?
yeah, if you need any wedding photography or video production, we're definitely.
You're in business with your
we're definitely
dad.
for it. That's right. Yeah, whole family, second generation. My fiance,
What does she do?
she does photography. She does our wedding. She does boudoir. She does family portraits.
Well, why don't you bring the whole family in?
Yeah, hey, well, we can do that one time.
Now you gotta bring the spaghetti and I'll bring the microphone. See, we should do that. It's 2 minutes a morning show sometimes.
Yeah.
Radio has the most listeners in the morning. 97% of all Americans will listen to the radio every week. Most listen in the morning, and it never recovers in the afternoon.
And
in the morning.
Usually when they're in the car, when did they listen, do you know?
In the car, but now it's amazing how many people are listening on iHeartRadio and the internet.
Through the phone.
Oh,
We used to be live at redpalmer.com. I wonder we had to fix that. Are we on there now? But we know that people are coming in. This couple came in from Connecticut this year. They flew down here just to meet me, to go to CJ Cannon's and say, we listen to you every day in the winter up in Connecticut because you're our Florida sunshine.
That's good. I like that.
So,
Yeah, you never know nowadays with Facebook, and
yeah.
you're already national.
Well, we should do. Yeah, we are. We have people listening as far as England.
England, yes.
Remember about a month ago, I had that guy listen to England, and then we've had Seattle, Washington, California, Maine, Tennessee.
So here's the real question.
Yeah.
What kind of an election process are we going to need to make you president of the airways?
president.
Because you've been mayor for a long time. It's, you gotta step up.
I had to
eventually.
pay my attorney an awful lot of money to secure mayor of the airways.
How long have you been the
So
mayor
I
of
don't,
the
you know,
Airways?
I think we'll stick with a mayor.
Have you been mayor for long, or is this?
Gosh, going on 20 years. I forget how long it is.
I saw someone call you sheriff.
It's long term.
Yeah.
Sheriff, and I was like, sheriff of the Airways.
What was she calling me sheriff for?
I think she thought it was sheriff of the Airways instead of mayor of the Airways.
Oh.
You know what I think? I think you're referring to that picture I put on Facebook. And I said,
Oh,
remember I
that
dressed
makes
up like
more
a marshal
sense.
and I said, I'm gonna build a wall around Vero and I'm gonna
Yeah,
get
that's
4
cute.
peers to pay for
That
it.
makes sense. Yeah, you're the sheriff. The sheriff of your
I got a lot of work on
Mayor
that.
of the Airways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna build a wall around Vero and we're gonna get, hey, give me some of that echo stuff, would you? All right.
Mhm.
I'm gonna build a wall as mayor of the Airways. I'm gonna build a wall around Vero Beach and I'm gonna get Fort Pierce to pay for it. Of course, the people for Pierce, I got some, notes,
Yeah.
some private messages. We don't think that's so funny.
I've got some friends.
You don't want us to come up from Avenue D tonight.
There's some people in our church that are from Fort Pierce, and I can't help but make Fort Pierce jokes, and they always give me a hard time about it.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm from a town, and I'm from Michigan, but I'm from a town that's very similar in economic status
As Fort Pierce?
Yeah.
Well, you know what, Fort Pierce, we were stupid in this area. We had Natalie's orange juice here, and I don't know, they wouldn't give them the tax incentives or the right rent, whatever it was. Now they're down at Fort Pierce. Now she's world famous.
Mm.
I mean, they're so highfalutin they won't even advertise on my show. They never answer my calls. Anybody from Natalie's? I could be on the air every morning saying ice cold, fresh squeezed orange juice from Natalie's.
I just did a commercial for them last year.
You did?
Yeah.
What? Hey, Nikki, I want you to go down.
I got connections.
A little something in your pocketbook. I'll buy your money in your back porch next year. You take care of this for the mayor, okay?
Do you have any Italian in you?
No,
No?
no.
You sure?
Do you have any Italian in you?
Oh, dear. Let's
The
ask Nick
preacher's
another
going, okay, let's behave here.
Yeah, we're walking that line there.
So-
Like Johnny Cash.
I keep a close watch. Here, put the music on. Let's see, right. I keep a close watch on this heart of mine. I keep a close watch on it all the time. Because you're mine, I walk the line.
There we go.
That's what gets
You know,
to
the guy
that
who shot that movie was
Yeah.
on my Stacy Keach's brother. What's his name? He shot that movie.
The Walk the Line with Walking
Yeah, he
Phoenix.
came into town. Why was he here?
It was a good movie.
Yeah, I interviewed him over the phone, and he said he called me when he came to town. And he's one of the only ones. He actually called me when he came to town,
Yeah.
and he had done the new Glenn Campbell documentary. Glenn Campbell gave permission, as he was diagnosed with Alzheimer's,
Mhm.
to record the whole thing.
Mhm.
Now he's still alive. He's become very violent in the past year. I think he's still alive. It's and any day
Yeah.
now, but they were collecting some funds for Alzheimer's right over here because there's a whole lot of highfalutin people here from New York.
Mhm.
Somebody here gave him $100 million. The guy, you know his name. All the women know. That's some famous
If that
perfume
person's
guy.
still in town, Nick is willing to do any documentary
Yes,
for $100
absolutely.
million.
Film anything you want for $100 million.
That's
Anything you want. Hey, Edith, remember that we wanted to star in our own porno film?
All right, now we've crossed over the line.
Has anybody ever wanted you to do something that you wouldn't?
Nothing quite like that. I've not gotten a call like
But
that
did you
yet.
ever get turned? Did you ever have to turn someone down?
No, not yet.
Not yet.
You know, I love interesting projects. Usually anything comes through the door, I'm willing to listen.
Once-
tell you, Nicky, we got a business transaction for you today.
Always looking for deals I can't
We got
refuse.
Sheila and Rosalie coming over here about it.
You were sharing a story about how things are going well in a shoot. Have you ever had things go really bad? What
Yeah.
happened?
I've had a drone fall out of the sky once in Mexico and be searching around the desert for that for a little while. That was interesting. Had a couple GoPros fly off the side of a boat. Had had slips and falls and 8-foot seas, all
Did you
kinds
get
of
it
shoots
on
rarely
film?
go perfect.
Did you get the slip on film?
Not from the other direction, but you can definitely see it from my camera angle.
You watch YouTube?
You gotta put that on a blooper
Yeah.
or something. You
Yeah,
gotta put
blooper reel. That would
yeah.
be a good time.
You watch YouTube?
What's that?
Do you watch YouTube?
Oh, sure.
Did you see that lady got 139 views last week for the mask, the Chibuka mask?
No, I missed that.
Oh, you gotta go see that, man.
Yeah,
Oh,
the
it's
Chibuka
hilarious.
mask.
The Chibuka's Chewbacca.
Chewbacca. Okay.
Chewbacca.
Chewbacca.
Well, it is, man. Hey, I'm 62. I can say what I want the way I want to say.
Chewbacca.
No, I missed that. I'm gonna go look it up.
Did you see it?
It was a huge thing last week.
139 million views.
Wow.
I mean, I've been on the air for 23 years.
Mhm.
I have not been heard by 139 million people. My life is a waste. Hers is successful. I might as well go shoot myself. But it's funny.
What did she do? What's the video?
Well, you have to see it.
Okay.
She goes out and buys a mask. She has the camera on in the car. That's one thing I want to ask you. What do you think about these cameras now?
Uh-huh.
These cameras now that they're selling in the cars for the dash.
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, everyone should film what's
Can
going
you
on.
can
just
you
for
take
live
that
evidence.
chip though, and could you use it in a movie?
Sure.
Is it
Yeah,
high
yeah, I mean,
quality?
look, I'm sure the quality of the resolution's
Well,
lower.
if you
but,
watch YouTube, do you see all the accidents? This one guy was on his motorcycle, and he must have had some kind of a GoPro or something on his helmet.
Yeah.
So he's driving along in Russia. All right, he says, my comrades, move over. And he comes to a stop, and this kid comes up to him, and he has a gun and points it at him. And so he gets off the motorcycle. You see the kid. The kid gets on the motorcycle, and the kid, pointing the gun at him, gets on the motorcycle, and then drives off. Comes to a circle. What do you call those? Traffic circle.
Mhm.
Well, then there's over in the distance. There's like a Chrysler Plymouth, one of those vans,
Mhm.
and all of a sudden, the van door opens. It's a cop that's on like on holiday or off whatever we call it, off time,
Off duty.
off duty. He gets out, takes his gun, boom, and he kills the kid right there on camera. You see it, and you feel. Okay, I'm sorry that anybody would lose their life, but you little pain in the butt, we got to stop it. Then they have other videos of people, one person's going up to their house, he pulls in, the gate opens up, so wherever he is, they have to have a gate. They pull up, and it's in a city, it's in an urban area, opens up the gate, and then you see this car pull up as he's going to get, and they come up and they put the gun right to the window.
Mm.
Well, all of a sudden, the guy backs up to the window, and the guy inside pulls his gun out
Mm.
and shoots him dead.
Mm.
And it's all on video.
Wow.
I mean, we had more of that stuff,
I know.
Yeah, that's
Now,
beauty.
are you armed?
Oh, yeah. All the
So
time.
you're armed right now?
Not right now, no.
I wish you were. No. Because, I went up with Joseph Sempervivo from Joseph's Cookies.
Mm.
He's running for office here. Anyway, so we're up at that gun show this past year up in the firefighters fairgrounds.
Mm.
And I said, there's some pretty odd characters. I'm talking about, Hey, me and Hoss come in. We ain't been in the city for 57 years. We gotta get ourselves some ammunition and guns, Oh boy. Anyway, so and
Those
they
are
got
my people.
those are my people. Well, actually, they are my people, and they are your people because they're Jesus' people. So anyway, but you go like, hey, Joseph, what if somebody went postal? He looks at me incredulously and goes, if somebody goes postal here, they're down in a second. Everybody's packing.
Yeah.
It's like when I come in here with the sheriff was sitting right where you were one day.
Mhm.
And this guy pulls up and then backs into a spot staring at us through the window here.
Mhm.
And I go, who is this? And so all of a sudden then he gets out and he's got a little brown bag.
Mhm.
Looks like a violin case, but soft. So I'm thinking, hey, there's a gun in that thing. And then he gets out of the car, he's staring at the window, comes through the door, and I said, hey, Sheriff, you got that Glock you always, so I'm getting worried here, Well, what it was the local music pastor for this new church. He had brought in his violin to play for us. No, it was his bagpipes.
Okay.
So,
Was it Michael Hyde?
no, it wasn't Michael Hyde.
Okay.
You got to pray for Michael Hyde.
I know, I am.
He
He's
is
a great
fighting
guy.
cancer.
Yeah.
Anybody out there, please pray for Michael Hyde, because at my father's funeral, my mother's funeral, oh, we're going to take a break?
Or in the show, whichever.
Okay, we got to take a break. And we'll be back. you all want to stay, you can stay, where we can go live to 10:30. I don't know if you want to stay or.
I'll say, but I gotta go to bed.
Please, let's hold it up.
Raffles, I'm sorry, what happens when I put this on? You said,
There's a ring. It rings through the headset. It should already be on or be off.
I got you. Okay, sorry. You know, he creates right on the spot.
Yeah.
He has
The
these
mark of a
songs that
creative
he
man.
creates. I confused you with somebody else, didn't I? When I said your wife, that's not you.
What's that?
Remember when we were in the green room?
Yeah, I'm not yet married.
Okay, well, that was very nice of you not to criticize me. But
Wife,
there was
fiance.
another person that we interviewed at Cannon's,
Okay.
and we got talking, and he's the one who told me about his wife. She's so good with money, and he said, you know, she shops at all the consignment shop. He was very proud of that. So I was
Well, my
thinking,
fiance is the same way, so I wasn't sure if maybe.
oh,
Yeah.
so, okay, I'm on target, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's really
Yeah.
good.
She saves me a lot of money, that's for sure.
Yeah, so she's involved in the business.
Yeah, she's a full-time radiological technician at the hospital. She's actually does radiological intervention as well. But yeah, she's really taken over a lot of our business. You know, my parents are getting older, so they're kind of stepping back and letting us kind of take over to a bigger degree as things go along.
It's really great, you have a common interest.
Oh yeah.
You know, in many marriages, they don't, the woman hates the guy because he's always watching football and he doesn't like her because she goes to the sewing club or something, you know.
Yeah. No, you know, actually, I went to school for marketing. I've never went to school for filmmaking or anything like that.
I know,
All that is self.
but deep in your heart, you knew that's what you wanted.
You know, I think maybe I did, but I never thought of it as a career. I thought that was too good to be true until I got out of school, started working at 9 to 5, and was making more on the weekends, filming stuff, and having a much better time.
Well, I'm sure your father made it look possible,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Mm-hmm.
because he was so good at what he was doing.
Yeah.
And he was kind of like your mentor.
Yeah. Well, he was always photography. So the video side of things was kind of just something I stumbled upon myself, having, you know, years and years of, and then them being in the wedding industry.
Yeah.
You know, that kind of went to a natural way for me to get my oats.
My son did what you did as a teenager, you know,
Your chin.
did filming with his friends,
Yeah.
had these little mini documentaries, you know, and he loved it.
It's that
Okay, there's nothing about it. It's beautiful. I love telling stories.
But it is competitive, isn't it, Nick? And you have a lot of competition.
There is, you know, more so, not so much around here. I'd say pretty much carved out a very good niche between Palm Beach and Orlando. But yeah, nationally, definitely, there's a lot of talent out there. A lot of people are
If I could see
you know, I think what I notice, a lot of people are either very creative or very oriented in business, and rarely you get both. So I think, you know, having the business school side of things plus the
Yeah,
artistic side, it's made a good recipe for
really
me
put
to,
them together.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's worked out really well.
Do you have any aspirations to go much higher?
Sure, I'd love to do documentaries and feature films.
Yeah. Yeah, but, well, no,
I'm very
to
confident
us.
in what I'm doing now, but that is the end
Sure.
goal.
So what are we doing for,
I'd like to executive
next half
produce
hour
at
here?
some point, you know, step out
More
behind
than
the camera
Yeah,
and executive produce.
okay.
business
A
stuff.
show about nothing.
We can
You have
decide
to have a
now, I
dream,
mean,
you know.
we want to do something. And if it is off, by the way, with the headphones, make sure it's away from the mic. And if it's on, make sure it's completely in your ear. 'cause
I
we get a
asked
lot of
him
squeaking.
about that.
Yeah.
I'm so smart.
Yeah, it's okay. It happens.
These are monsters.
Yeah.
I feel like Mickey Mouse.
You look like Minnie.
Minnie Mouse.
We could talk about movies. We got a movie guy over there. Do you know a lot of movies? Are you a movie buff?
Oh, I want to know this. How
I-
come songs
I
on the
feel
internet
movies a lot,
now? How come songs on the internet now saying like he couldn't play "I Me Mine" because there's a copyright?
Oh, yeah.
So what's going on? We're not going to be able to hear any Beatles songs on YouTube anymore, or
Well,
what?
yeah, you gotta have a license for everything now, you know.
What does that mean?
Means for well, I don't know with the radio industry, but for me, I have to get all my music royalty free or license it.
Well, because we did a show in here recently, and coming in and out, we played the entire Bob Dylan song, Dignity.
Mm-hmm.
And on YouTube, they said we had to pull your audio from your TV show because it had copyright material by Bob Dylan.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden,
that's automatic. They do that.
Yeah. Some of them you don't have to pull it.
Yeah. On YouTube, they read the audio thing. If they pick up anything copyrighted, they just pull it.
Some of them they don't.
What if I have a copyright song and I record it myself?
Then unless it's been submitted to their system, they probably wouldn't catch that.
Yeah, the studios work out this with YouTube.
How do they know? They can't listen to every video.
No, it's
it's an algorithm. Yeah, the computer just scans everything.
What is it? It's not Shazam. What's the thing?
Shazam, yeah.
Is it Shazam?
Yeah.
Yeah, Shazam.
You just hold your phone up, it'll listen to a song and then tell you what it is.
It's like the same software that
I
makes
want to get that.
So Shazam, you can play any song, and this will tell you what it's
Where are my glasses?
Right there.
Jeez.
So it's all math. Music's math.
Hold on, let's go to App Store. How do you spell it?
Shazam.
If I could get on here. My phone should work better in my studio quicker, unless something's usurping it here. Okay, S-H. Shazam, there it is.
A-Z-M.
Book of the day. Great, clever.
Okay, so it's free, right?
Yeah. Yeah, your internet isn't working today, Rhett. It isn't working well. So I'm on another Wi-Fi. I'm on some Xfinity.
According to my guest, the internet's not working well here today. It hasn't been working lately. He says it's not working well. Who do we talk to about that to get that straightened out?
That would be Comcast.
No, we got to get our geek in here, and the geek can call Comcast.
Well, more important about stuff going on right now, I have a guest on the line for you.
Oh, good.
Marilyn, who just produced a movie called How to Beat a Bully.
How to beat or beat?
Yeah, how to beat a bully. That's right. Is it how to beat a bully, B-E-A-T, or is it how to be, B-E, a bully?
That would be beat, B-E-A-T.
That's better.
B-E-A-T.
She's on the phone, so you could pick it up and get maybe, I don't know, 25 seconds of information from her.
What's her name?
Marilyn.
Okay, and did they send me any papers on that I asked you to print out?
I gave you everything you asked me to print out today.
Where are my papers that I had this morning?
No pressure, but the open's going to start in 10 seconds.
Nope. Okay, headsets. Up, up. Oh, all
Like a
right.
makeshift cowbell.
Well, no, it's at the one at the volume up so you can hear it, but it's not making much noise. It doesn't work. Everything fails me.
Need more cowbell.
We need more cowbell in the mornings too. We got Marilyn on the phone.
You don't have to live your life alone. Hey, Marilyn, how you doing? Hello. Good. You're calling in from California, right? And what's the time out there right now? Oh, I apologize for you getting up early, but well, Erwin Zucker from Hollywood, he said you got to get Marilyn back on again. And matter of fact, I want to introduce you to some people that are in the studio, Marilyn. We have, of course, Nick Varola here, right?
Hello.
And Nick is a young filmmaker. Matter of fact, he just got back from Southern California, Mexico, and was filming a new TV show. What's the name of the TV show?
Destination Baja Sur. We're working on season 2 this year.
Season 2. And He's a young filmmaker,
28.
28. Looks like he's 19, but we also have in here Beverly Osler. She's our on-air concierge. Good morning, Beverly.
Good morning, Marilyn.
And she makes coffee and she makes tea and
I greet people. I love welcoming them.
And she makes me happy. Okay. So we also have the Reverend in here, and he is
Richard Dempsey.
Yes, and has a small church here in town, but with a bunch of misfits.
Yeah.
So the Misfit Church.
That's
So.
right.
Well, this is something that Trump will like, right? Because he likes to beat. Well, let me ask you this: does it inspire violence? Yep. Why are there so many bullies? Why are there so many bullies in today's? I was bullied as a kid. Were you ever bullied as a kid?
Yeah.
You were bullied. Were you ever bullied as a kid?
Sure, yeah.
You were.
Everybody was probably bullied a little
Were
bit.
you bullied?
I don't believe so.
No. No.
Oh, nice.
Well, you
Time
know
heals
what,
all wounds,
Marilyn?
right?
Marilyn. Now we have the pastor here. He's going to lead you through a series of how to forgive and move forward.
Yeah.
Your brother. I was telling that to the pastor here today, Richard Dempsey. I was saying his brother Peter, right, has a sense of humor, or is it the other one that has a sense of humor?
Well, I would say on the radio, both of them have a sense of humor, but Robert is the goofiest one.
And yet Robert is the one who I can see has goes deep and has he's very sober.
Yeah.
You think he's the funny one, but he's not goofy. He may be funny, but he's not goofy.
Yeah.
There's seriousness. And generally, like I said, I believe that humor or levity is a sign of a deeper intellect. I know the Bushes, for instance. Jeb has no sense of humor. George W., who I've met a couple times, he does have has self-deprecating humor. The funniest one is the father.
Mm-hmm.
And I've known him a number of times. And he is to Kenny Bunk, and I went to my friend's father, who's deceased, used to be the Reverend at the St. Anne's Church there. Summertime. So there I go, and I'm sitting in the front row, and I look to my left, and there's President Bush and Mrs. Bush and stuff. Anyway, so later on, I come around, I skirt the beach, and he says, "Well, how's the good doctor?" Because his doctor, I forget the doctor's name, lives in town here now. It's like 90. He used to be his White House physician. Anyway, so he gets into the car, and it's just, I'm looking at him, he's looking at me, and as the car starts up, he goes, "Well," so I saluted him, and just me, he saluted me back. Is that cool?
Nice.
But guy's a funny guy. He has a great sense. Every time, he just everything he does has the reason he flows so good in a crowd speaking, he just doesn't he has true humility. He doesn't take himself too seriously, Why do you think people become bullies? Is it really because deep down they feel inferior and this somehow makes them feel better, bigger?
Mm.
Okay, now is this a short film? Is it a documentary? What is it?
Mm.
Oh.
Yeah, but Marilyn, as a marketing guy, I got a big challenge here. I don't think I want to take my kid to see a movie, How to Beat a Bully.
Why not, Rhett?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually did. I did that once.
Mhm.
I did that once. Well, yeah, when I was younger, I was like 20 years of age. I was working as a 12-hour shift at a hospital in upstate New York, and so a lot of the orderlies were gay. So I made friends with them, you know. So I go up to this. I'm going to this gay bar because I found out later on in life too. It's very easy to pick up the women in the gay bar because they think like, well, you know, maybe I could convert you back. You know? So you say, oh, well, we could try, you know. So anyway. So this young Italian guy is like being I don't know, he thought, what are you doing looking at my wife, you know, or something like. So anyway, so he got really nasty with me, and I just let him have it. Like, I'm going to send somebody up to see you on Tuesday, and you know what's hanging between your legs? It's going to be in your mouth, bucko. So you better. He got real scared because I really put it on like it was the
But
real
you're
thing.
so big, you could get away with that.
I was so skinny that my lungs collapsed.
Oh, okay.
I was skinny as a rail.
Funny idea.
What an adventure.
How to beat a bully. How to beat it. Well, you know, you want to know how the mob got started? Most people don't know this. And this will change your view of the mob forever. People don't realize the first mob were the Italian cops. And what they did is they came around and they said, you're going to give us $1,000 a month and we're going to protect your store. Do you understand? And they scared the people. They bullied them into paying $1,000. The reaction. See, I'm going to tell you something about Italians. Italians are very loyal. They will lay down their life for it. But if you do them wrong, you can forget about it. There's a side. It's a double-edged sword. They will protect you to the end that you be a friend. And if you ever get an emotional thing, just shut up. Let Italian get emotional. I know I have a lot of Italian friends. So anyway, so what was the story I was telling? I got off there.
It was the beginning of the mafia.
Oh, the mafia.
Mm-hmm.
The beginning of the mafia. So anyway, so the Irish came along and they're bullying the people of the town. So the mafia came along and they said, listen, we're going to take care of them. You don't have to pay us $1,000. You just pay us 50%, $500 a month. And we're going to take care of that and your enemies. Okay. So the first thing the mafia did was they got one of these coppers. They killed him. They hung him up and they put a big sign on him that said, thief. It was in all the newspapers. The cops didn't come around anymore. And that's how the mafia got started. It was a reaction to someone else going wrong.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Oh.
Oh, I've had a few of them. I've had a few of them on my show. I have, honestly.
Now, Marilyn, you co-wrote this film. How did that work in the writing process? Did you write it and then the person get another edition, or did you write it together? Mm-hmm. Oh, wow.
Now what? Now option means they'll give you 10, they'll give you $20,000. They have the option for a year. Then if they don't exercise the option, all the rights go back to the original creators.
Mhm.
Well, listen, I want to ask you something. Now that my girth has expanded, I'm losing the hair on my head. Well, when I was younger, they used to say that I was what you call the lead guy. I could have been a lead guy in
He's
Hollywood.
very handsome,
I
Marilyn.
was. And what I want to know is, wouldn't it be easier for me to get in? Before I die, I want to be in a motion picture, because I think. Okay, well, what part do you want me to play?
He's sort of like a Rob Reiner.
Do you need a priest? Is that gonna?
Now, what will I do? Do I end up shooting the groom, taking away his bride?
Oh, wow.
Seriously? Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, I gotta tell you something. I was friends with a brain surgeon in my last major long-lasting relationship. She ran off with a brain surgeon. But for some reason, everybody laughs when I tell them that, because it's kind of funny for some reason. That she ran off with a brain surgeon. I don't know if it's a reflection on her or a reflection on me.
We gotta laugh about those things.
Just the word brain surgeon conjures up something.
He was a real cut-up. Actually, he was Russian. Russian brain surgeon.
Now, Marilyn, were you bullied as a kid? Oh, that's right. Did you end up using comedy to disarm them?
Oh, wait, you just said a mouthful there, because people don't know. It takes the most intelligent person in the room to play the dummy with credibility.
Mm-hmm.
Very hard to play dumb and play it credibly and believably.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that's one thing that I'll say. My
There's
brother
nothing.
Robert
There's nothing worse than having somebody who's stupid try to play stupid. Look at the best stupid I've ever seen.
Forrest Gump.
Amen.
Yeah.
Hold on. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. I've met Suzanne, but hold on a second. I gotta try to do this. I just want to say I did not have sex with that woman, because Bill Clinton always kind of leads into, this power is gone. Lots of chocolates. You never know what. Now, I did not know I have to do Bill Clinton first, I guess, to get that little thing going in the back of the throat. But Jenny and I used to date out in California. I don't know if you know that, Marilyn. But anyway, you know how brilliant Tom Hanks is. And actually, on the set, this little boy that they had play him as a youngster, he talked like this.
Mhm.
And so actually, that is Tom Hanks imitating the boy. That's a true story.
So Marilyn, he's auditioning for you.
You were wondering why.
Now, do I get a speaking part in this movie? Now, do you hire a casting director? Now, why do directors like you put the hands of the show in the casting director? The casting director, people don't realize it. It's not the producer. The casting director can make or break stars, right, Marilyn?
Sure.
Now, Nick, how about you? Do you get to pick your people, or who picks your people for your TV shows?
Typically, when I'm traveling, the executive producer will pick those people, and he'll have that process all lined up by the time I arrive to start rolling. For my own productions, I usually have amateurs.
What's the number one, Marilyn? What's the number one quality you think it takes? Is it an unspoken and it's a puzzle? It's a charisma that's a puzzle, or is it inflection? Is it enthusiasm? I would think enthusiasm. I know that Goldie Hawn and Roger, no, who's the guy who killed himself? Williams.
Robin Williams.
Robin, when they both auditioned, like he auditioned to be on TV the very first time. He went and saw the producer and stood on his head and did the audition on his head, and that's how he.
That's brilliant too. He's the best
wow.
improv comic of all time. Goldie Hawn?
Oh my word!
Yeah. They freeze.
That happens all the time. That happens all the time on my radio show. People come in here and they go, okay, we're gonna be on the radio. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then they're looking at me like frogs in a rainstorm. Blink, 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 blink. You know what? Who's the guy that used to dance? The famous guy, Fred Astaire.
Fred Astaire. Yeah.
When he did his what do you call it? His when they film you to see if you're going to work on film. What do they call that?
Casting.
Screen test.
Yeah.
They said he can't act, can't sing, and can dance a little. That's what they said.
Wow.
Can you imagine?
Fred Astaire.
Yeah.
So you have to believe in yourself, whatever it is in life, because no one else is, except like Georgia O'Keeffe. Now, she happened to marry a guy who was a photographer, and she believed in him. If she hadn't married him, she would not be famous today.
Mm-hmm.
It always takes that one. Oh no, he wouldn't have. No.
Marilyn, who's in your movie?
You know, the one thing I want to know about is I used to be able to go to Blockbuster and I could buy a video. And if I really liked it, let's say I bought Forrest Gump, then I could go, Nick, so it's a great movie, and I could loan him the video. That's my property, I should be able to loan it. Then I could loan it to the pastor, I could loan it to Beverly. Now, you buy something on iTunes, and only me, myself, and I can watch it. I can't even share it with my girlfriend or my fiance or anybody. Neither one of them. I can't share it with either one of them. That's a joke. That's a joke. That's a joke.
Oh, it's a joke.
Sorry. Sometimes I wonder when I see films that have just amazing casts, what happened there? How did that come about? A particular film I'm thinking of was like A Few Good Men. Every actor in that film.
You can't handle the truth.
Every actor is brilliant. Even there's one guy that's he wasn't even an actor. They just had him on set to fill in for a second, and he ended up being one of the two actors, one of the two accused guys.
Wow.
Never acted before, and they just saw him on set.
You know what? You never know
He was a bodyguard.
when Providence is going to enter. The guy who gave the sound to Dylan, who plays that Hammond organ, was not even an organ player. The organ player, they took him off the organ in the studio right before they're going to do this and put him on another instrument. This guy was hanging there, so he sat down, started playing along. Dylan liked it, and now it's, you know. Ding, ding, ding. You got a lot of nerve. Oh my word. See? Okay, how to beat a bully, Marilyn. I'm sorry, but this half an hour is up, and you are always a doll. And I got to have you back again and again and again. How to beat a bully, Marilyn. You got a website or something for us?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Marilyn, thanks to Aaron Zucker for booking you from Hollywood, and thanks for coming on my show. And I always like having you on, sweetheart. You're terrific. You're a champ. All right. Hey, today's broadcast brought to you by Route 60 Hyundai. You need a good getaway car for that next bank robbery? Route 60 Hyundai.
That went so fast. Oh my gosh. That mafia story, I had no idea. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I always knew the police officers were mafia people.
Yeah.
Who comes on today, David?
We did 2.5 hours. Oh,
I know it. You're
oh
full
my
of
word.
You bring in so many wonderful anecdotes.
I like your impressions.
Okay. All
I
right.
can do Reagan too. God bless you.
So what if she said she had a small part for you? You'd fly out there and do it?
Yeah.
Why not?
I was asked, I could have done a movie with Elizabeth Taylor when I was 18. I was in New York City, and this producer, a friend of mine who's an actor, introduced me to him. He says, okay, we're going to be shooting a film with Elizabeth Taylor. He said, just get out to California, you can help us be an assistant director. So I always wanted to be in film. I went to Rochester Institute of Technology for cinematography. I went to Bard College for cinematography. I love film. And I said, I'm not going to California. I'm scared.
Scared?
I can't believe the way kids travel today.
Mm-hmm.
Fear has kept me from a lot of things.
I almost got to go on set and be at least an extra in a Joel Schumacher film with Nicolas Cage and Nicole Kidman.
But for the local guy who was doing that?
Joel Schumacher lives in town, and we saw a short film that I edited and produced, and he loved it, and so he wanted us to be able to meet him. So we did, and we had a long conversation, and we were talking to him on a fairly regular basis at the time, and then he wanted us to come out to watch him do his thing, and then the production ended up being late, so they didn't have time and everything, so they ended up canceling our trip. And I lost touch with him and everything like that, so,
Let me ask you this. Would you and your dad do need publicity and promotion for your wedding business, right?
Sure.
Okay. So why don't we sit down with him and talk and see, maybe we could do a little trade here. I could do an article in our magazine, which is very well read, or an ad, something on the radio, in season. There's a lot of very affluent people.
I'd be more inclined to, because I think as far as weddings go, we're pretty booked solid on that. I'd probably go more towards the commercial side of things. I do.
Because here's what I'd like to do. I was in Publix just the other night, and Dr. Kadadade came on, Dr. Mel. He sponsored my show about 15 years. She said, you won't believe how many people come in and say they heard us on your show.
Right.
Well, now we're starting a new show. It's going to be called Bureau Doctors, Bureau's Best Doctors Health Fair. Bureau, do you like that title? Bureau's Best Doctors Health Fair. Okay.
Yeah.
And so what I want to do is get Nick to go and visit my different doctors. And you never know, this might lead to another gig for you right there. But we get all these highfalutin doctors that sponsor my show. We get them say, this is Dr. Kadadade. We are amazed at I had one lady, now we get a few people like this too, a lady, just like you. I'm walking out of the theater, and she says, your radio show saved my eyesight. I said, how? She says, because I went to see Dr. Mal and Dr. Katz saved my macular degeneration. Then another guy's sitting out there at an RV show out at the mall here a couple of years back, and he says, your show saved my life. I said, excuse me? Yeah, your radio show saved my life. He said, because of your show, I found out about something that when a man gets prostate cancer and they put seeds or something in there, or they do something, but you have to go down to Texas. He said, because I flew down there, got it done, and guess what? I'm alive today. So people, well, it isn't. I do have an older audience. It's an older audience.
Really?
Well, there are young people like him that listen, but generally it's a 35 plus audience.
Okay.
Business owners, I'm sure.
It is.
So I think that maybe
affluent people, intelligent people, smarter people listen to talk radio. Dumb people don't listen to talk radio. If I go, we should do this sometime. We'll go right here, go right over 10:30, go to Panera Bread, and let's do something. We'll walk through it and look at the people that are reading a book. They're reading a book. I guarantee you they'd listen to my show. And it never fails. So, excuse me, can I just, we're just doing a tap. My name, oh yeah, I know you're right. I said, have you ever listened? Oh yeah. Because talk radio sells books. Because what are people that read are leaders read books and blah, blah, blah. So anyway, the point being, so I can say that on the air. I'll never offend anybody because the dumb people aren't listening anyway. But that being said, you also get some waiters and waitresses. Doesn't mean you're affluent, but they're smart. The last 4 lawn guys. Now you might come from New York. You're lucky to have a lawn guy. You make $15,000 a year. You come down here and all these lawn guys are, well, they're pulling in $150,000 a year because they got Mr. McGilly guy give them $2,000 a month. This one gives them $1,000 all on the beach. These are high-paying jobs. They're doing okay. They're entrepreneurs. Now, I wouldn't want to work in the sweat like that. Very dangerous and sun. By the way, you have an 84% chance you will die to get heat stroke. Did you hear me?
84%.
You need to know this while you're young. If you go out there, I had a friend of mine. I lost a client earlier. No, he was a good guy.
What did you say? 84%
Yes.
what?
If you get heat poisoning, heat stroke, you will die.
Okay.
You only have a 14% chance. No, is it 14? 16% chance that you'll live.
Really?
My friend over here owned father and son appliance. He went out and his wife said he came in, laid down,
Wow.
Tommy Schlitt. Have you lived there all your life or no?
No,
You know, the
just
Schlitt-
years.
oh, okay, the Schlitt
No,
family.
the Schlitt family.
But he went out riding his bike one day, and there was a lot of pollen in the air and stuff. And he took the bike to the hospital and died. He was my age, his whole life riding. But yeah, you got to be very careful in the summers here.
We're very careful with that in Mexico too.
Yeah.
Because we're going out on the boats for 8 hours at a time
That's too much.
under the sun. Yeah.
I was in the parade on Saturday, and I know. Oh, you were with me. Yeah, I did the parade together. Did I not take 3 times? I took that water thing, and I said, forget about it. I got a white shirt. I'll change when I get home, and I poured the water right over my head.
Oh, it's
It
good
was
thing.
dreadfully. Would you agree with dreadfully?
It was super hot. That was the one thing. And then
But you're still pale. Did you get a burn at all?
I sprayed ahead of time.
Ah.
I spray before if I'm gonna go out all the time.
50 SPF, baby.
Yeah, I mean, with living in Florida,
Yeah.
the,
It's a
all the
wise thing
people
to do.
have skin cancer.
Yeah, especially if you're out in the middle of the day.
Yeah,
Yeah, well, also
that horn was annoying the whole time in the parade.
at the end of the video, we could put something too where you could say, "Hey, this is Nick. You've heard me on Rhett's show. By the way, we did this ad for Rhett. If you need an ad for your organization or business, call us. Something like that. Then you got a little tiny ad right at the end too. That's what we do with our magazine. All photographers, like, they submit something, they get credit. Authors, they do something. We don't pay for articles because we're community. What do we call it? We're citizen journalism. But what they do is they get a picture of the book, a picture of them, and the website where they can go to buy it or whatever information.
Yeah, that's what I'd like to advertise, the commercial productions side of things, 30 seconds, 60 seconds, 90
Well,
seconds.
I like what you do. I mean, I hope you can do something that looks that smooth and classy for me.
I absolutely would.
Okay, nice week. I wonder what kind of funny would you like that idea of doing a documentary though on a talk show?
Oh, yeah, that
No
would
one's done
be
it.
really cool. Yeah.
No one's done it, but we'd have to think it out and make it. First of all, I can go see the governor, but see what we can do is if at that time, whenever it is, let's say we got a major star from Hollywood. So when they're promoting a book, a film, or a charity, that's when you really get people. Then they'll do, what's in it for them. Then all of a sudden we get the governor in there, we get some other celebrity, or at that adds credibility to it, and then you take it around, and then you show how you interview an old black guy that lives in Gifford, sitting underneath the palm tree with no teeth, who has wisdom. So you give glory to the common man. That's why people like you can be at this new show. What's it called? America's Got Talent. They see themselves in all these people. That's why they're crying and standing up and applauding. Hey, there's me. Yeah, good for you. You're trying.
Everybody loves an underdog.
Yeah,
They
well,
do.
especially in America.
And that's why, and also, they also want to take you down. Like, I've had people in this town that don't like me just because, like Dr. Anise, he's one of the doctors with you. he said that he believes this show, my magazine, built this practices, and this is not for everybody. This is the second most popular practice in the United States of America. I said, well, I thank you very much. He said, how do you know that? Oh, people come in, talk about your show, blah, blah. I said, well, I'm sure you've heard some bad things. He goes, well, yeah, just a couple weeks ago, this guy came in. Rhett Palmer, I don't like that Rhett Palmer. He's an egomaniac. He's egotist. He's arrogant. And Dr. Andy says, well, have you met Rhett? He goes, no, I haven't met Rhett.
Now you know.
You know.
Yeah.
Why? Because I'm loud on the radio, which is what I'm paid to do. You know. So, but anyway, the point being, you know, people, you know, what was it you said that made me say that? Something, I forget. You said something.
Yeah, I think it's like what you're saying, familiarity, you know, breeds
Yeah.
contempt.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can.
What's going on?
Not much. I'm tired though.
Where, why?
I don't know. Just haven't got a lot of sleep, I guess.
Oh.
Woke up early for your show. That's it.
Poor guy. Well, that's why you didn't sleep. You were nervous.
No, but I always go to bed late. So if I wake
Yeah.
up, that's why I gotta get to be able to take a nap. This is what old people talk.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind a nap.
Well, do you want to know? Do you want to know how many? I take a nap every day now. So I've done some research on it. Who's the most famous Englishman you know? He was the Prime Minister, World War II.
Churchill.
Churchill. Winston Churchill napped every day. President Reagan napped every day. Thomas Edison napped every day. I mean, it goes on and on.
I've heard that too.
Yeah.
Less sleep at night and a nap during the day.
Yeah.
It does wonders.
What I do is all of a sudden I'll crash, and if I can just 20 minutes to 45 minutes, I wake up. It's like the batteries are. It's an amazing thing. I wonder what happens when we sleep. It's simply amazing,
It's a power nap.
and it does empower you.
Yeah, that's great.
Well, if you want to move forward with that idea, I'd like to set up and get it done ASAP, because this new show we're starting is it's called Vero's Best Doc. Vero's what did I say? Vero's Top Doc.
When are you starting that?
Oh, Top Doc. That sounds better. That's cool. That's
Yeah.
not what you said before, but that's good.
Vero's Top Doc Health Fair.
Top Doc.
Top Dog has got,
Top
that's
Dog.
got impact.
Vero's Top Doc. Or
I
Vero's
just
Top
think-
Docs?
I think just
Vero's Top Doc.
well, Top Docs is fine, but don't add
Yeah,
anything
cut it
after
there.
Don't add the health fair.
No.
No.
I would just
No,
leave that.
that's enough.
No.
Just keep it simple.
Is it apostrophe S? Yeah, it would be apostrophe S. Vero's Top Docs.
Well, plural, because you're gonna have more than one, yeah.
Yeah, plural.
And do you know why they use the snake crawling up the stick?
No,
It's from Moses' times with the serpents.
He said, take the serpent. God said when they left Israel and they were sickly, they said, take the serpent and hang it, nail it to a stick, and then hold the stick up, and the people look up at it will be healed. Yeah. Do you know why?
why?
It's called a foreshadowing. Just like marriage on this earth with a man and a woman is a foreshadowing of our eternal marriage to God.
Mhm.
And why do you think people cry when people are getting married? They cry deeply. It's a spiritual thing because they know two shall be one. That's why it's really the stuff in this world.
Pretty deep, huh?
Well, so now what do? We look at what? Do we look at the snake on the stick? Yeah, we look at Jesus, who became the snake, though he was without sin. He was a beautiful person. All he did was good.
Mhm.
But he became the snake on the cross, became all of man's sin. So we who have sin are cleansed by the blood of the Lamb. And that's why God did that. And what do you think of the Jews when the Jews went out of Passover?
Yeah.
Remember, they call it Passover because the evil curse on the Egyptians will pass over your house if you take the blood of a lamb, a perfect little lamb, and you kill it. You have to eat it, but you place its blood on the door.
Mhm.
4 spots. What do 4 spots make? A cross.
Cross,
And
yeah.
that's long before there was crucifixion. And then Isaiah the prophet predicted that the Messiah would come and die on a cross, and it was 600 years before they had crucifixions.
600 years?
600 years.
Yeah, it's fascinating. The Passion of the Christ starts with a quote from Isaiah, and then it has the 400 year BC before Christ. And it's like the perfect description for Jesus. And we know, I mean, every historian will tell you, oh yeah, Isaiah was written hundreds and hundreds of years before Jesus was born.
And he
it's
said that he
perfectly
cast lots for his
describes
clothing, which
what's
they
gonna
did in
happen.
real life.
Yeah.
All these things. I was not handsome. You should take notice. They say Jesus. People think he was this little blue-eyed blonde guy.
Yeah,
First of all, he was not white. He wasn't black. He's right in the middle. He's Mideastern. I've been there. I've met Nazarenes. They have long faces. We don't even know how he talked. We think he's going to talk glibly. We don't know what Jesus was like. I like the idea that they said he wasn't handsome. Can you imagine this most beautiful